with the appropriate military ID being used. This includes closer access to several exhibits as well as a free train ride. The zoo will also be open to the public during those same days. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Or as we're calling this thing, Joey Clark Live online, streaming on Twitter and YouTube mostly, because everybody joined me in this, both Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here. Facebook sucks. Agreed. They really are awful. I don't know who's running that shop now.
Lizard Man.
But they are just continuing to make bad business decision after bad business decision.
I don't think they care.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're at that point. It's like a utility at this point. Yeah.
Yep. But the beautiful thing, it becomes like the death of some of these companies.
Yep.
Actually, I think big tech pretending like they are like a utility company, I think that's a mistake. I think Elon Musk in particular is wise to know I need to keep innovating and innovate some more on this stuff. So we'll see where it goes. But if you want to watch online, you can see my face or Eddie's face. He's wearing the shirt with the boat or ship schematics.
Yes.
I like that one.
It's the one that my mother bought me. One of the many that my mother bought me.
We're also, for those of you, longtime listeners to News Talk, Byron Sheehy here in the house.
I dress myself. My mother did not buy my shirt.
Okay. I'm glad we cleared that
up. You missed
up.
out on that opportunity because she buys very nice shirts.
So the big breaking news this morning is a Delaware jury finds Hunter Biden guilty on all counts, all 3 counts in this gun case. So there are a lot of folks online saying, hey, but that's just a smokescreen.
Yep.
That's just a way for them to say, oh, this is fair. And I'm looking at a tweet here from Catherine Herridge, who's been great since she was at Fox. Since even when she went to CBS, she maintained who she was. And I'm not surprised they let her go because she was getting way too close to the target, particularly on the Bidens. I will always have respect for Catherine Herridge.
Right.
I don't often say that about journalists, but I'll have respect for her. But she says in a tweet, backbone of special counsel gun case was Hunter Biden's laptop user data. Pending California tax case poses significant potential legal jeopardy for Hunter plus immediate family. It calls him a lobbyist. References to Ukraine, China, strongly suggest investigators exploring potential FARA violations.
Really?
And who's immediate family? Oh, yeah, well, his uncle, Jim. And Jim was a part of a lot of these deals.
Yes, he was.
And then there's Jill, the first lady. But I'm sure Joe didn't have anything to do with it.
Nah,
He's not the big guy, right?
didn't discuss it around the dinner table.
I still can't believe Trump got that wrong in that debate where he's all hopped up on COVID meds. He was clearly had COVID. That first debate in 2020, where he screwed it up, though. He kept saying, instead of who's the big guy, and laying it out there, he kept, who's the big man, Joe? Who's the big man? Who's the big man? Like, Donald, please. So that's the big breaking news. Is this a smokescreen, you think?
Well, Biden did come out and say, a couple weeks ago that he would not pardon his son. It's going to be a lie.
Oh, yeah. He's
But
gonna get
yeah, I mean, come on. Let's look at the big picture. Trump just got found guilty on some made-up charges that most of the world agrees with.
Right.
And so now they're coming back going, well, look, no one is above the law, even Hunter.
And Joe just loves Hunter.
Right.
The Republicans are being mean.
Was it the case essentially, him buying a gun while on crack?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and then throwing it away, like trying to hide it in a way.
well,
Like, it just was a huge mess.
Yeah.
This seems kind of like a slam dunk.
Yeah,
You
and it
would think.
was. It was a
You would
Delaware jury of
Right.
all places.
They didn't have to change any laws. They didn't have to go back and get a district DA to run. They just
Right.
used the laws that were already on the books.
Right.
And actually enforced them.
But here, let's get some mainstream media coverage, because, of course, the prestige media, people with, fancy titles, are always right about all of this stuff. Here's Chuck Todd's take on this big breaking news.
This is one of those cases where I don't think it's brought if Biden's not president of the United States. This is one of those things that Biden had chosen not to run in 2018. I doubt Hunter Biden's ever prosecuted for something like this. In some ways, we may look back on this and say he was held more accountable because of who he is, not less accountable.
Wait.
Lord.
You know what they're not saying? How about a victory for gun loss, right?
There you go.
I mean, the hypocrisy.
Wait, you're telling me that if I have all these gun violations and I'm like high on crack, I'm cooking my own crack.
And I've got video of it on
Right.
my computer.
Yeah, maybe Chuck Todd's right. Maybe there's all sorts of like rich boys out there with trust fund money who are, on the family name, doing all sorts of drugs, sleeping with all sorts of hoes,
Right.
prostitutes,
Got
and
that
like,
on there too.
and they just never get caught,
Well, I
right?
feel like if you post it on social media, you're bound to get caught. So
Yeah,
You
right.
would think, especially with Facebook, how strict they are.
We need to call up Steve Marshall's office. I'll text his people, be like, Steve, is it allowed if I'm not like connected to a powerful family? Will I be prosecuted for playing around with my gun while high on crack?
I got to go with yes, especially if we have that on film.
Yeah, I think
I kind of got to go with yes.
By
on
the way,
that.
a film I made myself.
Exactly.
I'm very proud of it, actually. That was a good moment for
many
me.
clips.
I went viral.
Oh, wow. So how wholesome American politics has become. But yeah, I think this is somewhat of a gambit to be like, hey, let's equally apply the law, and we'll see where it goes. And it could also be, keep in mind, it will never be the Republicans that take out Joe Biden. No. It will never be the Republicans. It will always be forces within the Democratic Party and the establishment and the government.
They will
Or
release
old
their
age.
own.
Or God himself, time, Father Time.
I guess
as
you
well.
saw yesterday where the whole freeze up. And it
Oh,
just
yeah. Somebody
Got to
memed it.
pause in time there for a minute.
Yeah, and it was at a Juneteenth celebration. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not June. Is it Juneteenth already?
No.
They just celebrated early.
No, yeah.
It was just a ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay. But it looked like everybody's having a good old time, and Joe's just staring off like that 1,000-yard stare.
Yep.
Somebody memed it and put like a bunch of like flashing lights, like colors, like you're at the club, and it changed the
Kick it
music
in
to
real
like
quick.
some Dirty South, like, and they said the first time you go to Atlanta strip club.
I feel like the proper soundtrack behind it would have been like, "Hello, darkness,
Right.
my old friend."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're like, yeah, or a Dylan Thomas poem or something. Rage against the light. So the dying of the light. So who do you think's going to replace Joe? I just don't buy it. I'm at this point where I don't think he's going to be the guy.
He can't be. I think everybody got to come to that realization now.
And we'll see with this debate. I guess there's a debate upcoming in a week or two, which is so early and so bizarre.
It'd be like the, I guess the State of the Union. If he just passes.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
keep
all
it.
have to, exactly. Good point.
So long as it's not a train wreck.
Now, Joe, have you ever done cocaine like your son,
Yeah.
Hunter? See,
gotta
I
go
don't know if
with-
you need to do that angle if you're Donald Trump.
No, I kind of think you kind of see what he's just kind of watch him that night, and you can kind of quickly tell what he's on. And maybe
Right.
bring it up. I'm just worried that when Donald Trump does get his teeth in him, people are going to scream, "Mad dog! He beat up this old man."
You're right.
And I'll have to remind him they're the same age, pretty much. Two old men going at it.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as like stage presence and everything, I'd love if Donald would just kind of pull back a little bit and give Joe some line to see if he hangs himself.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm afraid like the more direct interaction he has and the more engaging he is, that's going to sort of, facilitate better responses from Joe.
But also,
I will drop out from the race if Joe Biden, right here and now, can bend over and tie his shoes. And you can't do the bunny ears.
That's just mean because we know what's going to happen.
They're going to get him those Velcro shoes.
Suckers.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. What, you were saying something, Eddie?
Well, I was just thinking again with Biden, he's going to get out there. I worry that Trump is going to, like I said, get a hold of him, and he's not one to just let him hang himself. Trump, there's blood in the water, man. That shark is going crazy. So that's my concern. Although,
Right.
for the first couple of minutes, as an American citizen who has been screwed by this president, I will enjoy that whipping that he gets. But after that, I'd say, hey, pull the dogs off, man. He's an
So
old man.
I came back to this topic because I'm looking at, of all places, Business Insider. 7 Democrats who could replace Biden if he drops his 2024 reelection bid.
Gavin Newsom's got to be on the list. 'Cause
I think
they've
Newsom's
been touting
on
him
the
so
He's
much.
probably the front runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, one is Vice President Harris.
Oh, come on. I didn't even know she'd be on the list, to be quite honest. Didn't even consider her.
Give me a break, man.
Didn't even consider it.
Gavin Newsom, yeah, he's on this list. Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan?
That's
Wow.
That's my
Man, I met a guy from Michigan yesterday, and he...
Wait, did you just call him Michigan?
Bitch, I thought that was her name. I didn't invent that. I'll
That's
take
just
the credit.
around the house.
Yeah, but I just literally met a guy that's from Michigan. He couldn't. We were talking about how states opened up and stuff. He couldn't believe. He said that's one of the reasons I left. He said I
Right.
couldn't even go fishing.
And by the way, if folks are just tuning in online and you're wondering, like, these folks are so in the tank on the ride for Trump. No. In this day and age, at this point in the election cycle, we're not sufficiently for Trump. We have too much fun with Trump, apparently. Like, if you don't get down and kiss the man's ass
Oh, yeah,
every day, like
24/7.
like you're, a boomer with Jesus hugging Trump meme sort of energy. Like, no.
But that's not us with anybody.
I
As
agree.
much as we love Katie Britt, as much as we love,
Oh, yeah,
Katie
we
Britt,
love Katie. We love Coach.
we are quick, right? But we are quick to throw criticism when needed.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah. Don't do it too hard.
I don't.
Snip, snip.
Don't I know it?
we
2-7.
try to be funny when we do it.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah, and really nothing.
I mean,
else.
we
It's
fail.
Just an attempt to be funny.
So, Gretchen Whitmer, Amy Klobuchar, the woman who beats her staff,
Nah, I was going to say that they'll eat that up.
I'm telling you, it's going to be Michigan, man.
Senator Cory Booker,
I would like that just for the fun.
Spartacus himself.
Yep, I would like that just for the fun.
I don't think it's going to be Cory
I am
Booker.
Spartacus.
Now, I don't. You are with the lines today. Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina. Now, I don't know that guy.
Roy Cooper, familiar.
Isn't a big name among Democratic voters outside of North Carolina, at least not yet. The former state lawmaker, one-time North Carolina Attorney General, and current two-term governor rose through the ranks of government. In a GOP-leaning state where Democratic candidates have to compete on tricky terrain, Cooper, a moderate, has come out on top. That could be the switcheroo, where you pull in somebody doesn't have the glitz and glam, doesn't have big name ID, but you're sort of this moderate Democrat. We're not going to do the woke crazy stuff
That's what I was
anymore.
wondering. Yeah.
We're going to go back to Bill Clinton, like the era of big government's over.
You're talking about turning around like a big old ship, though. I mean,
True.
You're going to have to get all the Dems behind you on that.
Right.
Nah, they're not ready to let all those flags go, man.
And then another is Governor Wes Moore of Maryland. And he's an Army veteran, Rhodes Scholar. Wow. Elected the governorship in 2022. So we'll see.
Wasn't Clinton a Rhodes Scholar?
It's crazy that we're actually having this conversation or you're reading these names off.
Yeah.
this late into the game.
Well, and this isn't like rightwing.com. This isn't Bongino, or this isn't Citizen Free Press. This isn't Town Hall or Daily Caller or Fox News. This is Business Insider.
Joey, I mean, last summer they were talking about, well, if the switch isn't made by Labor Day, it's going to be too late.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was 23.
That was
Yeah.
last summer.
Yeah.
No, I think even also Ezra Klein and Vox, I think, put out a big thing. Here's the smashed glass emergency thing. And can you imagine a brokered convention in this climate?
That's going to be crazy.
In particular, I'm thinking of Israel and Gaza and that war going on, the protesters. Like, it's going to be, I think, a gnarly summer. And aren't they doing it in Chicago?
Yes. The mayor's already came out and said that it's not going to be like 68.
Oh, it's not.
So it's going to be like 68.
I was going to say $20 on it's like 68.
Yeah.
No, it'll
on
be
steroids.
nothing like 68. We won't have the police to beat people into submission like Daley
They
had 'em.
defunded the police.
Right.
Ah.
So we're just going to let people run. We've
Well,
already
be a
been doing it.
be
It's
a lot of
trial
muggings.
runs. Right. 272-9228. Wouldn't it be great for like one of these uber Democratic governor or like mayors to come out all of a sudden and say something effective? You loot, we shoot. Like they just do a complete heel turn on the party.
I think he would be canceled immediately.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think, nah.
No, I just want to see some. Same with Republicans. I would love this. I love it when somebody who's like a party guy or gal their whole life, and all of a sudden they just turn heel for whatever. Maybe it's like a Paul on the road to Damascus moment,
Or maybe he's getting ready to retire and needs a little cash.
that too, right? Or maybe it's just convictions. Like I'm tired of this. I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
Late in the game to develop convictions,
Well, you're getting closer to seeing Jesus. You're trying to make things right.
Remember that video we have of you with that goat, Billy? Funny enough that your name's Billy and you were doing something with a goat. 272. Well, I had to join the frat. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Red Top, good afternoon, gentlemen.
How you
Red
doing?
Top.
Afternoon.
And by the way, Adriana's a beautiful redhead. Kicked butt again yesterday on Jeopardy.
Okay. Thank you for telling me about your nerd crush.
Oh, gosh, yeah, but that should be everybody. Somebody that smart deserves to be
No.
praised for it. And I'll make a prediction. They're going to sentence Donald Trump to some kind of jail time, even if it's just overnight because of what just happened to Hunter.
Yeah, maybe there are no
Might
brakes
be.
on the train
Yeah.
and like they can't. It would be real dumb politically, I think.
It would be real dumb, but
Hello?
they didn't decide to really go after Donald Trump in Manhattan until they decided they were going after Hunter Biden. So this was a tit for tat. And, Hunter Biden stuff's down. I'm surprised they came back this fast and that clear. So he must have had a lot of evidence against him besides just cocaine use. Because unless they can find somebody that saw him do it or did a drug test during that wouldn't have held up, guys. And I don't think they're going to get another candidate. I just really don't. And don't forget now, Fox works for Mickey Mouse now. So be careful what you think about Fox News.
Wait, Fox is now under the Disney Corporation?
Yes, it was about purchased by Disney like 3 years ago.
I thought that was ABC.
Who owns ABC, Joey?
The Disney Corporation.
Okay. But anyway,
Am I wrong on this? Like, or
I'm
like,
doing
who's
tomorrow.
who's crazy here? Somebody look it up.
Looking it up.
well, if Disney owns ABC and ABC buys Fox, I guess they both belong to it. Unless
Disney
I'm
does
wrong.
own the Fox Entertainment assets, but
Okay. Yeah, they might have taken some
I think they
licensing
took
to
some
add
stuff.
to
Yeah, I don't
Disney
think they
Plus.
actually-
Yeah, okay, but I still don't trust any of them. And I saw Judge Napolitano. He's at 9 o'clock at night on Newsmax,
Mhm.
and he was really good. And, of course, you know that because you talk to him, and we listen to him every week. And right after him at 9:30, a show called The Biden Chronicles comes on that everybody needs to watch. That's on Newsmax, channel 88 on your digital tuner.
Mm-hmm.
So check it out, guys. They uncover stuff about Biden I ain't never seen before. It's really scary.
Yeah, and no
so-
Judge Napolitano today. He had a funeral he had to attend. So Certainly understand. Is
Wow.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he is really outstanding, and of course he's always outstanding on the show, and he likes you a whole lot, Joey. That's a great friend to have. My friend, as he would say.
Indeed.
Roll Tide, go Trump. See you guys.
See you, bud.
Hey, Red Top. Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Yes, sir, it's Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. I forgot what I was going to ask. Well, I was going to tell you, the irony about all this is with Hunter Biden being found guilty is they used a laptop and the information and the videos on it as evidence, which we were told 4 years ago was Russian disinformation.
All the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the 51 goofball intelligence officers that put their name down, pin their name. When are we going to find put those guys in prison?
Mm-hmm.
Clapper and those
But
guys.
Clapper, I
So
think, made a comment over the weekend about it. He said even though it's been proven to be true, he would still have said the same thing.
Right. See, they were
Lying piece of
weaselly
crap.
with it in the beginning.
Yeah.
They would say, we don't know, but it has all the hallmarks of a Russian.
all the hallmarks.
Yeah,
He
campaign.
said I would have said the same thing. So that just tells me what a trash he is.
Well, the rumor I'm hearing in the Democratic circles is Stephen Reed for president, guys.
Really?
I've heard that for
Yeah, sure is.
Couple years now.
Cinderella story
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, it is. It's the Stephen Reed, and he's up in D.C. working it, and he's going to be at the virtual convention, and they're not going to have people at the convention because the virus that they'll probably release on us. They'll have a virtual convention because they don't want any Palestinian protesters and all these other kooks on their side to do what they do, like destroy monuments and things like that. So,
Chris, let me
but
ask
yeah,
you.
that's.
Would you get behind him for president if it got him out of here?
I would give him $1,000 today for Stephen Reed 2024.
I think a lot of people
Absolutely.
would absolutely get behind that campaign.
Well, they've been trying to get him to go to D.C., but I don't even want him there.
That's sad. But yeah, I got a feeling a lot of people would get behind that campaign especially if they knew it would work.
But who would be his running mate? It'd be Reed what?
Mm.
Who would he pick? I mean, maybe
Oh,
Chip Hill. How about that? That sounds good.
No,
Reed,
I'm thinking
Hill,
it's going to have to be big time.
Yeah.
Like, God bless Chip, but no.
I think, yeah, either that or it had to
Why
be
not?
definitely a woman.
No, I'm
that-
thinking it's somebody big time like Reed Oprah.
Yeah, it had something like that.
I'm kind of surprised.
I'm liking that.
Abrams'
Reed
name
Oprah.
wasn't just
They
listed
say
on there.
they say it's good to have like short names when you run for office. You can't have like a goofy name like mine or any other really elongated names like Trump, Reed,
Mhm.
Biden. Have you noticed that? It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Bush,
that's true.
Clark.
Gore,
Yeah, maybe that's why Ramaswamy was never going to work.
Ramaswamy. See, that doesn't work, man. He's got to rename himself. Ram.
Especially
Yeah,
because
just go with the
everybody
Ram.
had their own way of pronouncing it. Trump in particular, like, and now we have Vivek Ramaswamy. Like, where the
But he would-
come from?
He would have to give him a nickname. You have to give him the old Rami.
Little
Right.
Rami.
I have noticed that, like, amongst older politicos, that whenever they, are scouting candidates and everything, they always look at the name more so than
Easy name ID?
It
Younger.
is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well,
That makes sense.
difficult.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it makes
Well, and
sense.
Trump does give nicknames. Like he would call Bannon and Sebastian Gorka, my heavies. Let's bring in the heavies.
that's
Let's
so
have them
wrong.
talk to you guys.
He's been trying to lose some
John
weight.
Bolton, he would call him
Oh, the walrus?
he would call him the
The
mustache.
Warren.
That dude is something else.
And when there was a hurricane, I think he looked at Bolton and goes, what do you want to do? Nuke it, John?
I remember that.
Hey, I got one. How about this one? Reed Rice. Like Susan Rice?
Ooh, Reed Rice.
I mean, it'd really be
Yeah.
Reed and Reed. I mean, who are we kidding here?
Reed and Reed.
Yeah.
Attorneys and
Associates.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, that's what I'm hearing, man. I mean, they said that, in politics, like the beginning of your thing, in politics, the best you fail upward.
Right.
Right.
You do like Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's a good example, right? Gavin Newsom destroys San Francisco,
That's what.
fails upward, destroying California,
Mm-hmm.
fails upward more. There you go, President of the United States.
Well, my buddy Gumtown John is on the stream asking, why do Democrats seem to fail up in politics? Like,
They do.
well, it's the
amazing.
system, man.
Yeah.
It's an elitist club.
Well, you
Yeah.
can't admit there was a mistake made, so the way you cover that up is just, it was so good he got promoted.
Well, and this is the deal where personalities come up. It's like, well, that guy sucked, but we have a new person. And it's like, no, it's not the person you put in there, dadgummit.
Same policy, just new guy.
All right.
Yeah, there's the same policies. It's a recycle of the name,
Mm-hmm.
just short, and then you get what you get, and this is what we got. So, Montgomery's is kind of a microcosm of what's going on in the nation, right? We got a guy that, went through COVID. He was buddy with our health director. He kept us in masks as long as he possibly could. And then when that was over with, he put BLM around our fountain. He virtually has defunded the police. And now we're at the point where we're going to get $6 million for people to go out and have psychologists go talk to folks so they won't shoot each other.
Is he getting good
Instead of
pushback
getting
on
more
that?
cops.
Is there
What's
pushback
that?
on? Do you know? Is there pushback on that? Like
I've
besides
heard
just the
there is.
citizenship? Because I got a
Yeah, I
feeling this
think
might be a
I've been hearing
program gets
that.
crammed down our throat.
If the city council passes that garbage, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Agreed.
Let's do this. Let's do the easy math. 60,000 a cop divided by 6 million.
Oh, yeah.
How many cops is that?
Oh, we can get a cop. We can get a car. They can have a gun. They can have everything. We can supply them everything they need.
Yeah.
Or we could do
Yeah,
the social
you need-
justice deal.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Reed's just kind of behind the scenes here. Behind the times. He's just doing everything that's failed,
Yeah.
but is going to double down on it because he's just he pulled the playbook out of his drawer and he said, that's a good idea. Let's just get psychotherapists and psychologists on the streets and we'll have no murder.
Right. That'll fix it.
Yeah.
Sort everywhere else.
Exactly. I mean, look at it.
Yeah. Well, that's just the way it goes, my friend. But I think Reed for sure, President 2024, and I will actually start his campaign committee.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure he'll love that. He'll want to hire you first thing.
I'll do it for free, Stephen. I promise you. I will give you your first $1,000, and I will do it for free.
There you go. The offer's been
All
made.
right.
Appreciate it, Chris.
See you, Chris.
Yeah.
272-9228. And to change the mood a little bit, but it's true. I saw this morning when I woke up. I'll pull it up on the live stream. 12-year-old dies a week after being shot in Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're seeing here on this image, folks, on the live stream is a bunch of kids, I believe at the Chisholm Community Center, and they're doing a balloon, like where they're just kind of releasing balloons in the sky. And it was a 12-year-old girl who was shot 4100 block of Heating Drive sometime before 2:30 a.m.
Yep.
Child was taken to a local hospital and later transferred to a hospital in Birmingham. She was pronounced dead on June the 7th. No motive nor other details were released. A balloon release was held for the victim Friday after she died, where family identified her as India Knight. I never imagined having to live without her, said India's mother, Bria. That's held at the Chisholm Boys and Girls Club. And Major Saba Coleman said this is Montgomery's 32nd homicide this year.
Homicide of the year.
How many of those funerals do you think he attended?
I don't know. I just don't know.
I'd love to know that.
32. But I have so many questions just reading that basic report. How does a 12-year-old get shot at 2 a.m?
It's a good question. I would think if it was a random gunshot and through a wall, there would be a story behind it. But because there's not, it makes me wonder the exact same thing you're wondering.
And there are plenty of arrests being made. Like another suspect in the Amy Dix case, I believe, was just arrested.
Right.
There are a lot of folks who end up getting arrested, but the fact that people still don't feel any deterrence out there.
Well, not only that, I mean, when they get arrested, they put it in the report 4, 6, 7 hours later, they're back out of jail.
Right.
So what'd we do? Didn't remove them from society. You basically gave them an office referral, and the rest of us have to live with them.
Maybe a little street cred in the process.
Exactly.
272-9228. Again, that's 334-272-9228. Before the break here, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, well, with buying or selling here in the River Region real estate market. He's been doing that, helping buyers and sellers here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas for over 40 years. It's getting close to 50. Half a century worth of experience there with Bo Goodson. And at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying and selling your property, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home, which is a great idea in this market and a great way to pull off a rental unless you really want to go through the process of learning it yourself. And actually, the beautiful thing is you can check out the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed in the state. Whether you're looking to be a more more knowledgeable private player, maybe you are looking to learn property management, or you're looking to be a full-time licensed realtor, the Bo Goodson Real Estate School is the place to go. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
Honey, did you call an electrician to put in that new bathroom outlet?
No, I thought I'd just get Cousin Ray.
He's not a real electrician.
Oh, Ray's handy. He can do anything.
Being handy and being an electrician are two different things. Electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. Each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. You need an expert. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, drug testing, continuing education, and rigorous safety training. When you need electrical work, or if you'd just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric.
So, how about that nice outlet Ray installed in the bathroom?
Do you think it's safe?
It's fine. See, when I plug in my electric razor, it...
Now the lights are out. I am not sleeping a wink until you get Crosby Electric out here.
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle, not the scraping of rust. Introducing the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle. Stays ready, not rusty, with a carbon steel cooktop, pre-seasoned and ready to cook on right out of the box. The Weber Slate heats evenly edge to edge up to 500 degrees. All you'll hear is the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors, Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive, of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. Summer is officially 9 days away, but we are well into our summertime pattern. Plenty of sunshine today. Not quite as humid as yesterday, with a high temperature near 90. Tonight's low, a comfortable 64. Tomorrow, a high temperature of 90 to 92. Closer to the middle 90s on Thursday and Friday. We'll keep the rain chances just about as low as you can get, 20% or less, and lots of sunshine. And then I've got us at 96 on Saturday with more sun. Risk of scattered storms on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader, he's the one wearing a blueprint.
That's right.
And Byron Sheehy here in the house. And, you know, for the life of me, guys, I keep seeing this about folks. They seem worried when they say this, but they're like, Trump's going to send me to camp. I'm like, what's wrong with going to camp? I have good memories of camp.
Mad Cow.
Yeah, I saw Maddow's the most recent one, but what's wrong with going to camp? Camp's good. You go canoeing, you know, like archery practice.
Well, she might get a chance to make friends.
Right.
That could be an idea.
Oh, that's always fun at camp.
Yeah.
But I saw where they were talking about re-education camp on the other side, so I thought they were just mimicking the message they saw.
Or maybe it's fat camp. A lot of people need fat camp these days.
Don't body shame people.
I know, Joey.
I'm going
we
to.
were better than that.
It's how I've lost weight. I shame myself every morning, and this guy reminds
I
me.
I thought it was my job.
No, Eddie reminds me constantly that him and Greg Budell now weigh less than me.
Only because, if I remember correctly, Joey had many negative things to say when I was on the chubber side of things.
Oh,
right. And it's
and it motivated me.
Little tit for tat.
Yeah.
No, and like if somebody calls me a fat ass, like I look in the mirror and well, it's not really that. It's not my backside, but yeah, kind of chubby.
What? No.
Right. So I'm at 217. I'm down. I'm quite down. So
and how tall are you? 5'9"?
Like 5'10" and a half, something like that. Like 5'10". What
Brian, how
he
tall
keeps
are you?
like trying to say I'm
No,
short.
I'm just making a point. How tall are you, Brian? Right. Anybody over 6 foot don't
6'2".
know how tall they are. Anybody under 5 foot knows to the quarter inch how tall they are. I mean, under 6 foot.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I need to lose like another 15, 20 pounds.
Losing weight ain't your problem. You're looking good.
Okay, I appreciate that. Stop. You're creeping me
And
out
that
now.
mouth you got?
You're creeping.
Boy.
Right
Like the way you talk.
Yeah, but apparently all these folks don't want to go to camp. Like, where did this negative connotation come
I always
from?
had good times
The
at camp.
counselors get too touchy-feely or something?
I don't know. We had Camp Belser. Belser was a great camp.
Yeah?
They had a saying, don't pee in our pool and we won't swim in your toilet.
It's just a part of that larger narrative. I mean, how many times have you read about dictator Trump this week?
Oh, they mean like gulags.
Yeah, I think they have a negative connotation.
They mean
there.
like concentration camps, like
Or
North Korea or Nazis.
detainment.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I have seen AOC even worry about detainment, which...
Oh, is she worried about going to camp too?
Yeah.
They can bond together. Think about all the
Yeah.
stories.
They can become
share.
besties.
Oh, yeah, more than besties.
Mm.
Actually, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. They should go for it. But she's saying, Rachel Maddow is the latest saying she's worried that Trump returning to the presidency could mean she might wind up in camps.
Hold on. she was one of these people that said that she was going to leave if he got elected last time.
So instead of sending her to camp,
Yeah,
she can pick a country. We'll just send her there.
Now that's something that I'll throw some money in on.
I think a lot of people would.
Well, and here's the full quote, was worried, quote, about the country broadly if we put someone in power who's openly avowing that he plans to build camps to hold millions of people and to root out what he's described in subhuman terms as his enemy from within. For that matter, what convinces you that these massive camps he's planning on only for migrants? Yes, I'm worried about me, but only as much as I'm worried about all of us. Oh, God, you found a way to fit your fake, stupid altruism into it.
Well, that and
so compassionate
migrants instead of illegal
aliens.
Yeah,
right.
Migrants.
Visitors.
Right.
Well,
It's not about me, but I'm worried about me.
But do you think
Right.
Trump's really walking around? He's got a list. He's got like AOC on it. And he's got Mad Cow on there. He's like, these are the women that are going to the camps. As soon as I get president, these women are gone.
Yeah, I don't
or
think
does he
so.
could care less?
Yeah, I don't think he cares at all.
Right.
Well, and then Margaret Brennan, she might need to be worried. She's worried that, like, she's shocked because this was a new CBS poll.
Mhm.
New national program to deport all undocumented immigrants.
Mhm.
It was a poll of registered voters by
Right.
CBS and YouGov. 62% of Americans favor that.
She couldn't believe that, could she, Joey?
Yeah, she was shocked.
That just shows how what
absolutely
world
shocked.
she lives in. It ain't ours.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers that anybody would be shocked by it.
Right. These are the same people that, are shocked of the elections in Europe and how, it's primarily focused on, as they like to say, migrants.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, but what's your take? I would love to see what you have.
I think it's the effects of, 10 or 15 years of liberal policies coming home to roost.
Yep.
Yeah. And especially the
agree.
climate stuff over there. The Green Party's got destroyed across.
Oh,
They
yeah.
should have.
Whenever the farmers started turning out, protesting and everything, it was over.
Absolutely, it was over. It's just, I don't know. Populism in Europe's a unique thing too, though. So we'll see. Like, how much do we actually want a nationalist Germany again? But that's the dirty little secret. Germany is the powerhouse in Europe. It's just a geographical reality. France is pretty important too. France is more cultural. Every time Paris sneezes, the rest of Europe gets a cold. What is that, Mitterrand or somebody? But yeah, this is a change, and I think it suggests it might happen also in American elections.
Oh yeah,
I believe it will.
I think it's indicative of a wave to come. Now, I don't know if it's going to be this cycle,
right?
But all these leftist policies are eventually going to catch up with them.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a new Joe Rogan's out with Tim Dillon as the guest. I know what I'm watching tonight.
Oh, cool.
Maybe he'll get my grandfather to watch this with me.
I think he'll enjoy it.
I think he'll like Tim
I
Dillon.
think he really
Because he's
will.
older than the boomers.
Yeah.
And Tim Dillon hates the boomers.
He hates
because he was raised by
well,
them.
you hear in his every 5 minutes, Joey, his rage on a boomer of some sort.
So here is Margaret Brennan reacting to this poll we just mentioned.
A new government program that would deport all people living in the U.S. illegally. And that finds majority favor. That finds 6 and 10. It's strongest among folks who are MAGA. It's strongest among Trump supporters, but also from some Democrats as well. And I think that speaks to the general idea, not just that people see the border as a crisis, but also where we are in the campaign, where a lot of very dramatic or new proposals out there are finding favor here.
So unpack that a bit, because this 62% of Americans favor deporting all undocumented immigrants. So Homeland Security says that President Biden has already deported or repatriated more people in the past year than any year since 2010. And then, depending on the details of what's talked about on the campaign trail, some of what Mr. Trump talks about could be illegal. It doesn't seem practical in some sense to round up children. And then we know that the courts have questioned whether local authorities would have the ability to do it, and federal authorities don't have the resources. So what exactly do people think they're supporting?
Well, when you measure public sentiment on this, or really just about any policy, you're getting a sense of direction, you're getting broad brushstrokes, but those kinds of details, well, that's often up to the legislatures and the courts.
Thanks for giving us the dirty little secret of how our damn system works. Well, we just take the temperature of the public, then we do whatever the
We
hell
do what we want.
Yeah.
That's right. We figure out how much pushback we'll get, and we go from there.
I love how they said, it seems to be skewed to, the MAGA crowd. Well, maybe the overall electorate skewed to the MAGA crowd.
Yeah, it might be. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this? Hello?
No, after all that.
Well, that was just rude.
After all.
Head was ready to go in anyway.
Yeah, well, call back whoever that was. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings.
Did you see the ring out there today, Joey?
Absolutely, and this is like for the fellas out there, for the fathers, for the dads.
That's a sweet ring.
That it looks like something like when I seal a letter.
Yes.
Like the emperor, and I'm going to put my seal in the wax. That's what this thing looks like.
Yeah.
And so if you're thinking about what to get dad for Father's Day, I'm telling you the work and the selection there at Dillon Rings. Josh Ryder can put in the work, or if you're looking for these things that are already available, and what they're showcasing, if you go to Dillon Rings on the Book of Faces, are new men's rings in stock in sterling silver.
Yep.
Now available for special order in two-tone designs. They start at about $600. And so with Father's Day right around the corner, make sure to stop by and grab the perfect gift for dad by tomorrow. They'll be out of the office Thursday to Saturday.
All right.
So get by there, folks, to Dillon Rings. This is at 119 Brown Springs Road. And I'm looking at it. You can see it on Facebook. That is cool.
It's a nice ring.
Is that what's the Saints, the fleur-de-lis?
Fleur-de-lis.
Yeah, it's like 4 of those in a cross shape. And
I wonder if it's someone's like family crest.
That's what it reminds me of, a family crest.
That would be that'd be a cool.
And like
idea
Joey
for-
said,
for
signing
Dad.
a document. That's how you do it, man.
that's just fantastic right there. So y'all get to go check that out in person. And of course, they're a full-service jewelry shop there at Dillon Rings. For all of your jewelry needs, they can help you out. Again, 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that, Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hey there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. Our partnership with Blue Water Broadcasting has reached thousands of listeners in the river region. People listen, people call. Now there's mortgage savings for us all.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the river region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the program, that's 334-272-9228. so much going on today, though, folks. And we already talked about Biden being gone at the Juneteenth concert.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he really was just not there. But have you seen this latest? And I can't play the video because I didn't have time to edit out all the curse words.
Oh.
But there's this video that's been put out. It's just an audio recording of Martha Alito, Justice Alito's wife. And it was some reporter pretending to be like her friend. And, oh, I agree with you. And these effing flags. I fly those effing flags. Why are they coming after you, Martha? It's just obvious.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to bait her into saying stuff. And they're acting like it's some huge damning video. And I'm like, is nothing sacred in this world at that high level? I guess not. I guess like wives, spouses are fair game.
There's no end that they won't try to reach.
Obviously not.
You know, but the larger hit on Alito, I think it's, you know, this is just another part of the narrative.
Right.
That was the headline that grabbed my attention today.
But let's see. This is the Daily Beast write-up. So I can't play the video. I mean, listening to it, it sounds like a party, like a cocktail party. There's a lot of different voices on the tape. Her saying hi to a lot of different people. And so here's the write-up by William Valancourt. I thought that was a made-up last name by Adam Sandler and the crew. Vicky Valancourt.
Yeah. It's a real deal?
Yeah, William Valancourt.
Art Vandelay.
Foosball is the devil. Now, Martha Ann Alito, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, complained about the pride flag, ranted about feminazis, that just sounds like Rush Limbaugh, and explained a flag design that she has been creating in her head in anticipation of when her husband is free of this nonsense. That's a direct quote. So, according to an undercover audio released by a journalist and documentary filmmaker on Monday, she said, Martha Alito said, quote, I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at the pride flag for the next month.
She wants her flag.
How's that like that
How's
much
that
of a
bad?
controversial statement?
I like this instead of that. What's so bad about that? I thought here in America we have choices. We have freedom.
Yeah, it's just
What's wrong
everything's
with
just
that?
so gay now.
I want to hear the rant.
You want to there's too many curse words in it. And Martha doesn't curse,
How
but
long's the video?
Like 4 minutes.
You can't really get into a good rant,
right,
and touch on all these subjects in 4 minutes.
No, she's just kind of talking about it. Like, and I think the flag that she wanted to come up with was like essentially a Italian word for leave me alone or something like that. We might actually find it here. Alito's comments were recorded undercover June the 3rd at the Supreme Court's Historical Society's annual dinner by a journalist named Lauren Windsor, who's playing the role of a conservative activist. So, you know, I guess James O'Keefe started this.
Yeah.
We're back to undercover stuff. Just hours earlier on Monday, Windsor posted another secretly recorded conversation she had at the dinner with Alito's. That audio was obtained and published by Rolling Stone with Alito's husband. This write-up doesn't even make sense. Anyway, the embattled jurist described fundamental differences between the left and right that can't be compromised. It expressed a desire to return our country to a place of godliness. These bastards.
Sounds like a horrible idea, right? Sorry.
Shortly after the tape of Samuel Alito was posted, Windsor promised, "We aren't done breaking news just yet." That vow was fulfilled Monday night with Windsor posting the audio of Martha unfurled. According to the tape, Alito addressed the controversy over the January 6th flag spotted at her and her husband's homes in Virginia and New Jersey, for which Samuel Alito said his wife was responsible. Here's a quote from Martha Alito. "The feminazis believe that she should control me, or that he should control me. The feminazis believe that he, Samuel Alito, should control me. So they'll go to hell. He never controls me."
What state does he live in?
I don't even know. Virginia is where these particular homes were.
They're going to end up making her a candidate for office.
Oh, yeah?
And she'll win in the landslide.
After stating her need for a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag, a leader described her husband's reaction. He's like, "Oh, please don't put up a flag." I said, "I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up and I'm going to send them a message every day, maybe every week. I'll be changing the flags." Wait, it just sounds like, Eddie, you know this world, lake people, like throwing up flags and signals at each other. Just like, it's so dumb.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That doesn't happen up on Lake Jordan?
No.
Well, it's all Trump flags up there.
Right.
And
our friend
American
had
flags
pointed out,
galore.
too. He's like, "Hey, can you take me to a boat parade that doesn't have Trump flags?"
Nope.
I said, "No, they don't exist." Sorry.
Oh, so the Italian word is vergogna, which she explained means shame. Huh.
Interesting.
So it's just like, I love all these attack vectors. Like, you're attacking our institutions. Now let's go find the wives of Supreme Court justices and try to just take over the court. It's like, folks, there are no rules. When are you going to understand that there are no rules? The rules are made up as needed. We make the rules and then break them because we are the best. Sorry to quote a Prince song. But it's like, that's their logic. We're the best. We're morally right and righteous. We're going to liberate the entire world because the arc of history bends towards us. We'll live forever. No, you won't. But with that mentality, you're more than happy to make the rules and break them and make them again and break them as needed for your pursuit of power. That's the game.
And protecting, us from ourselves, because we don't know what we're doing, and we have to have their heavy-handedness, kind of sort of directing which way we live our lives.
Also trying to throw a wrench in the marriage of Judge Alito. Who wants to hear it? Honestly, if I got, well, I do get a lot of grief. If I got more grief
I'm sorry,
about my job from my wife,
I hear
eventually
you.
I'd have to go.
I hear you. But from listening to the tape and then reading that again, I'm like, this sounds like foreplay to me.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
This is an SRN News Special Report. I'm John Scott. Hunter Biden facing up to 25 years in prison following guilty verdicts today on a gun case.
A jury in Wilmington, Delaware found the son of President Biden guilty of 3 felony charges related to the purchase of a gun when prosecutors argued he lied on a gun purchase form by saying he wasn't illegally using or addicted to drugs. The jurors reached their verdict following just over 3 hours of deliberations, which began late Monday afternoon. No sentencing date was set after the verdict was read.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Biden sat and stared straight ahead and showed a little emotion as the verdict was read. After the conviction on the 3 felony charges, President Biden said in a statement that he and the First Lady will always be there for their son with our love and support. This has been an SRN News Special Report. I'm John Scott.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
The Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Hi, everybody. Summer is officially 9 days away, but we are well into our summertime pattern. Plenty of sunshine today. Not quite as humid as yesterday, with a high temperature near 90. Tonight's low, a comfortable 64. Tomorrow, a high temperature 90 to 92. Closer to the middle 90s on Thursday and Friday. We'll keep the rain chances just about as low as you can get, 20% or less. and lots of sunshine. And then I've got us at 96 on Saturday with more sun, risk of scattered storms on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A 12-year-old girl who was shot in Montgomery has died of her injuries. The shooting happened in the 4100 block of Keating Drive near the Montgomery Zoo on Friday, May 3rd. The girl was taken to a local hospital, then transferred to a Birmingham hospital where she died. Suspect and motive remain unknown. Packages of cocaine with an estimated street value of $450,000 washed up on Dauphin Island last weekend. The bundles, weighing a total of 55 pounds, were discovered on the west side of Dauphin Island. Mobile County Sheriff's Office detectives searched the beach for additional packages, but they did not find any. A suspect has been arrested for shooting into a Montgomery apartment. 19-year-old Keith Martin is charged with firing a gun into an apartment in the 1400 block of Stonehenge Road near Woodmere Boulevard on April 19th. A woman inside was hit in the stomach as she lay in bed, but would recover from her gunshot wound. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Pepsi Pecan is in a brand new location at 1935 Mulberry Street, but they've still got the same great products they had when they were downtown. Here's David Little to tell you more.
Hey, David Little at Pepsi Pecan here. I tell you what, since we have moved, we've had great response. We have lots and lots of people coming by our new store on 1935 Mulberry Street, and it's a lot of fun. You know why? Because we're getting to add new items. We're adding new candies, new jellies, new jams. We even have a honey called Hot Pecan Butter. It's so good. We have a hot honey. We have a peach jam. We have a hemp jelly that is mangoes, pineapples, and jelly. It is so good. We've got all those things. Plus, we've got all the great candies we've had before. And, you know, we're in a very convenient location. You don't have to go to downtown. You come to Tucker Pecan at 1935 Mulberry Street. Come shop with us, and we'll take care of all your gift needs, candies, or if you're just hungry, come by and we'll fix you up.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down Dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to Joey Clark Live. I'm Joey. Now, either of you two gentlemen here in the studio with me ever read Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead?
It's been a while. But
yeah, it's been a while for me too, but it sticks with me. Eddie, you ever read that book?
No, I can't say I have.
I would recommend to folks, like, actually, Atlas Shrugged is too long and up its own backside in a lot of ways. Like, we get the point on. Like, you didn't need to add 600 pages.
Oh.
Like, it's not awful, but it's not fantastic either. I think also some of the criticism of it isn't fair. Anyway, if you're going to read a novel by Ayn Rand, I would say The Fountainhead. Okay. Also, Anthem's pretty good. Anthem you can read in an afternoon. It's a little novella. But The Fountainhead is, I think, just an interesting story. And the main bad guy in that, I believe, is Ellsworth Toohey. And there's one moment where Ellsworth is describing how to rule over men. And that's actually the quote I begin with in my op-ed this week. At least quote in part, because he's going through the list. Here's how you rule over man. He goes, here's another. Kill man's sense of values. Kill his capacity to recognize greatness or to achieve it. Great men can't be ruled. We don't want any great men. Don't deny conception of greatness. Destroy it from within. Don't set out to raise all shrines. You'll frighten men. Enshrine mediocrity, and the shrines are raised. Then I was thinking about, because I thought of this op-ed when I'm watching the Starship launch that just happened. And I got thinking about all the folks that say, oh, Elon Musk, that greedy billionaire. What about all these hungry mouths we need to feed? Well, folks, if you go back, there's a great spoken word poem, and he really is a great writer. Gil Scott-Heron said, how come I ain't got no money here? Whitey's on the moon. And then finally, probably one of my favorite lines of all time, we are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Now to my words. I wish more of us looked with wonder and awe at the stars, and at the great men who brave fate to touch them. Yet I fear continuing to bicker in the gutter is much easier. Whatever we men choose, the most important things in life are the stories we weave for ourselves. The truth of our lives, especially our deepest held convictions, is first found in the fabric of our own fictions. And what a horribly wonderful and delightfully awful fabric the tapestry of human existence is. Separate, seemingly opposing threads wrap around one another. Together, they create a unifying series of tensions. The cruel and apparent paradoxes that trouble us all are really deeply abiding harmonies. Just as a sour note eventually sweetens with resolution in the proper chord, the dissonance of life can discover consonance in the proper context and time. If only more of us had the eyes to see the surface for its underlying tensions, or the ears to hear the music find its way home, we would all be happier for it. Yet blind division and deaf discord persist, especially when suffering men are taught to curse those who dare to dream impossible dreams independent of other men's needs. Any man willing to belittle others' dreams for the sake of his own suffering and needs will never truly satisfy his needs. Without respect for the dreams of others, he will never foster dreams of his own, and his needs will be endless. When men are encouraged to see other men's attempts at greatness as a mutually exclusive cost to their own lives, they cost themselves their own chance at greatness and beckon the rule of evil men. Indeed, it was while watching the recent nail-biting Starship launch by Elon Musk's SpaceX that I was reminded of the fact that not all men have equally cheered the quest to brave the starry heavens. Not only has Musk been criticized for his spacefaring efforts by those who claim to want to end world hunger, but even the Apollo program of the 1960s was criticized as a waste of resources by, of all folks, civil rights leaders. Now, for instance, the Smithsonian Magazine lays out this report, quoting them. The day before the Apollo launch, Abernathy, head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, led a march of 25 poor families to the Kennedy Space Center to protest what he called America's distorted sense of national priorities. And perhaps the most vivid illustration of the gulf between America's highest technological achievements and the abject poverty of millions of rural blacks, on the day of the launch, newspapers around the country described the scene. The protesters, with farm wagons drawn by 4 mules, marched across a field to meet the NASA administrator and other agency personnel with Apollo 11's 36-story Saturn V rocket on the launch pad in the background. Abernathy and the poor black families who marched with him, totaling as many as 150 people, told NASA Administrator Thomas O. Paine the money spent on the impending launch could be better spent feeding people on Earth. According to the Orlando Sentinel, Paine responded by saying, "Poverty is such a great problem that it makes the Apollo program look like child's play." Just a quick aside, Thomas O. Paine was quite right about that. More on that later. The report continues. If it were possible for us to not push that button and solve the problems you were talking about, we would not push that button, Paine added. During the 20-minute encounter, Abernathy urged Paine to put NASA technologies in service to the poor, while Paine questioned what NASA could immediately do to combat hunger. He agreed the moon mission could inspire the country to band together to tackle its other problems. Payne told Abernathy, quote, "I want you to hitch your wagon to our rocket and tell the people the NASA program is an example of what this country can do." Luckily, in the decades following the Apollo program, more and more Americans from all walks of life have taken up Payne's call to hitch your wagon to our rocket. In particular, more and more black Americans have been recognized for their achievements then and now in America's space program. It ain't just Whitey on the moon anymore. In fact, it never was just Whitey on the moon. The efforts of the Apollo space program helped clear the way for all to join in the impossible dream of becoming a spacefaring species by braving the unknown. Yet I fear there are still voices of the gutter happy to sow discord for the sin of dreaming up impossible dreams, whether they be dreams of space travel or anything else. Such voices pretend to care for man's needs, but their true aim is to rule over man by destroying the urge for greatness in man's soul, lowering his expectations, and fostering a bitter hatred of the good for being good. To anyone who is genuinely called to help those most in need, you would be wise to be wary of the wolves in sheep's clothing who use the language of compassion, community, and altruism to reign over men and pull their dreams back down to the gutter. Feeding hungry mouths in an enduring way requires more than just food for the day. Poverty is best solved by inspiring men to join in others' dreams of greatness, or to look up from the gutter themselves and strive towards a star of their own. If you want to read that for yourself, it's at 1819news.com today. You look like you want to say something, Byron.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at that time there wasn't as much of a bend to as many or as drastic social policies as there is now.
Sure.
I mean, economically.
Right.
So, as poignant as all that was, it seems like in layman's terms, misery loves company.
Yes.
And instead of encouraging people to be ambitious, it's almost like they do just want people smart enough to show up and do whatever menial task it is that they have to do from 9 to 5, and that's it.
Right.
And we truly don't want greatness anymore. And to me, that's the heartbreaking part in all of this. Not only is it that we demonize someone who is trying to advance, but somehow that's a sin. Right. I don't get the rationale for how does someone advancing hold someone else back?
Well, a key part, whether you want to read Ayn Rand's Anthem, the novella, or you could just listen to Rush 2112, kind of the same storyline. But the whole idea is it's this supposedly society in the future, but they live by candlelight, and they're very much community oriented, like literally living in longhouses. And this one person, and they don't have the word I. They have no concept of individuality. We do this, we do that. My name is a bunch of jumbled letters and numbers, but it's like the Borg. It's like a true collective society where everybody is in tow to everybody else. But this one person in that community starts to have thoughts of selfishness, of being an individual, and starts sneaking off. Like, first has romantic feelings, which you're not supposed to be having your own personal romantic feelings, but then runs off and discovers what turns out to be an old subway station and finds this thing called a light bulb. And on his own figures out how to create the light bulb again. And so realizing this would be great for our community and for humanity, presents it to the elders, and they say, no, that's what destroyed us before. How dare you? Like, you've committed an awful sin. And I think that's an exaggeration, of course, to make a point of a story. But there are many examples in human history where the customs and traditions and the needs of the group, which are always run by a few elders or priests or warriors, whatever, or scientists or experts like we have today, they will cut down innovation. They will cut down individual stuff for the name of the group. And it's a constant pull in this country. And, and also, like, quoting Gil Scott-Heron, how come I ain't got no money here? Whitey's on the moon. I think he's great. I think I would never question his greatness. I find him brilliant as a wordsmith. A lot of songs of his have got me through the day. But it's more this mentality that because I am suffering, I can't see greatness and other folks. It's just, oh, there goes the wasteful ways of that group of people. And I find that's just self-defeating.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And also people say, well, and this is something that was started after World War II. Could have included all this in the article, but then it would have been 3,000 words. After World War II, you end up getting folks to say, well, if we could beat the Nazis, if we could free Europe and beat Imperial Japan, we can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put a man on the moon. And they do, which it's incredible. They go, well, if we can put a man on the moon, we can do anything, right? Well, putting a man on the moon, as great and amazing that is much less complex and complicated than it is to, say, feed billions of people.
No doubt.
You can do central planning, you really can, to go and put a man on the moon.
Yeah.
Like, you can have amazing scientific progress by a centralized committee and somebody directing it. And in fact, you're seeing this with private companies like Elon Musk, SpaceX. But when you're talking about something like poverty, you're talking about systems. You're talking about people's own individual choices, and you're talking about law. And the beautiful thing I thought we understood in this country is that when you have freedom, especially in the market, then you can create wealth, and you're essentially indirectly serving your community.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're serving your family, the people you know directly in your local community, but by allowing trade and innovation, those benefits get spread out, but there's no central plan. It's like the classic SAI pencil. Nobody in particular makes a pencil because a pencil has all these different inputs and parts that come from all over the world, essentially. And so when you look at how do you solve poverty, it's like it's innovation, it's trade, it's everybody sort of doing their part. And I don't mind. I think it's, in fact, a good motivation that I'm trying to innovate to help these poor folks or to help the hungry folks.
That would mean that, rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Right.
Well, we can't have that because that would, that goes against the narrative and the objective. So all this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad you, hit on it and highlighted it, but it's more the same from the left from my vantage point.
Right. When you look back at the history of recent innovation, by recent I mean the last 100 years or so, everything was crapped on. Like the Wright brothers were crapped on.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the faster railroad systems crapped on. The car was crapped on. Like everything is like, it's gonna fail. Like that seems to just be the people, I guess, in my line of work or in the press, like the whole, just crap on it. That'll never work. Whereas I think we've lost something. Instead, like it used to be, you would have, Peter Thiel brings this up about a year or two ago, ticker tape parades.
Yeah.
For what? Oh, these guys that create innovators.
Mm-hmm. Heroes.
Or heroes that come back from war. Yeah, you have ticker tape parades. What are we having parades for now?
World Series, man.
A lot of
You get that's the closest you get to the old school ones, like NFL or NBA, something like MLB. But yeah, now it's all identity stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, what did you achieve? Or what are you continuing to achieve?
Social justice.
Yep. And at what cost?
Well, making us all equal.
Right.
But you can this as well as I do. You can put us side by side. That doesn't mean we're equal.
Oh, I know.
You can put us in the same clothes. You can do everything.
Well,
We're not equal.
that was tongue in
But
cheek.
why didn't we have things like women's liberation, all this? Because a lot of the reasons we're able to have more freedom socially is because of the underlying technological innovations created.
I've had friends describe it as we're too affluent.
Yeah.
Because we have it so well.
First world problems.
We can actually sit around and wring our hands about a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter.
Yes.
If we were all worried about going to make sure we had 3 square meals with a sharpened spear.
Whole lot different, wouldn't
It'd be a whole lot
It's first world problems.
And we would totally lean on our brothers more.
Well, and I've heard people bring up like the frontier and the Oregon Trail and all this stuff, but part of me is also like, it's the frontier. You can gotta do what you want. It's like, they ain't ladies around, but Billy sure is purty, and he likes to fancy himself a woman, so I have company.
Isn't that I don't think it's you could do what you want. I think it's you do what you
have
had
to do.
You do.
To survive.
Yes.
I mean, it was survival.
Yeah. So why did child labor? Everybody credits the unions, and it's like they were way late to the game.
Well, not only that though, child labor is still very prevalent throughout the world today.
Right.
It really hadn't gone away as much as we like to think it had.
But it went away mostly because,
Here in the US.
number one, you stopped being agrarian. And then, okay, kids start working in the factories, but you essentially can earn enough money to where your kid doesn't have to work. And that also probably explains why we aren't having as many kids.
Well, and I was going to say that's a big thing too. I think a lot of times in that generation, you had kids because they were going to support your family farms, your family some way, shape, or another. I mean, they all had a job the day they could walk.
Right.
And this, nowadays it's not that way at all. We're wanting our children to be better off than we were, or at least that's what I think a true father wants. He wants his kids better off than he ever was. I think then you had kids literally to build the family, to keep the farm going. I mean, they were hired help, but they weren't getting paid.
They were a bunch of, to cite the intro, a bunch of dumb crackers, man. How many jobs do we have on the farm?
Yeah.
Well, and
we got a few more spots.
Exactly.
To fill out the roster there.
Well, and I have to admit, as I'm watching this, the spoken word Whitey's on the Moon, I'm laughing. I'm like, this is pretty damn well put together. And there's a whole documentary on the Black Woodstock, essentially. And there was a big Woodstock, Stevie Wonder, who did the Age of Aquarius, the Fifth Element, or no.
I hear the song playing in my head.
Fifth Dimension?
Yeah, Fifth Dimension. Yeah, and so all these great bands of the 60s came together, and their reporters of that day, that was the day of the moon landing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the crowd ain't impressed. In fact, the one person who announces on the stage, "We landed on the moon," gets booed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now we know where the conspiracy theory started. It makes more sense.
Hey, man. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're Cole Plumbing. They're ready to help you with all your potential plumbing problems or even just upgrades. So it could be you have a big leak inside or outside the home. Well, they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows Cole Plumbing with minimal discomfort to you and your home to solve the problem, which means they're not going to dig up a huge hole in your yard, tear out a bunch of drywall. Again, with precision and expertise, they can solve the issue you might have. Or they can help you with everyday problems from low water pressure, clogged drains, maybe even like a tree root invasion.
No fun, but they can fix it.
Or maybe you're looking to upgrade, say to a taller toilet if your knees or hips are getting bad. Could be you want to get fancy with a bidet, so you
can go paperless.
Really, I almost said clean as a whistle. I'm glad
you
it
can go
didn't.
paperless.
Or you go, yeah, exactly. Not be as wasteful.
Right.
So they can help you with any plumbing need. Maybe a tankless water heater system.
That's the way to save money.
Cole Plumbing's got your back. So check them out today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Let's go to line one real quick. Who's this?
Hey, Joey, put me on hold for a minute, please.
Okay. Let's go to line three. Who's this?
I'm in line.
Line 3 is a crawdad.
Hey, Crawdaddy.
Hey, Crawdad.
I identified it would have a squishy in the middle and a skeleton on the outside.
I see.
So that's kind of hard to figure out, isn't it?
True crustacean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like an insect.
True crusty.
Like a sea insect.
It's not an insect. Anyway, T.R. Theodore Roosevelt, tying into what you guys were just talking about, he started out, he was a very sickly child. That to motivate him. When he had the epiphany, he went into some of the borough tests in New York and saw people slaving in the basement, rolling cigars and doing other things. That was an epiphany for him about how he could help them raise their living standard by having the opportunity to, we say, you have the opportunity to embrace whatever in your life can make your life. You have to chase it, but you can't. You have to have the doors open. When he went across Missouri out into the west, that was another epiphany. But I looked at PR did to helping raise up the standard of living, because what you were talking about, changing somebody's stuck poverty. Well, they weren't stuck in poverty, really. They just didn't know that they had freedom freedom. And President Roosevelt made fantastic changes. So I wanted to try and see if you wanted to mention him at TR on how he helped us to change the world.
Yeah, I find Teddy Roosevelt kind of like Alexander Hamilton. I think they're amazing men, great men even, but I didn't like their politics all that much.
Now I need to look a little harder at that. I haven't read that deeply at that, but that's a good point. I will look more into that. He also has a nice mustache.
Thank you.
I'll have a
Told
day.
you, Joey.
Appreciate it.
Got that pretty mouth over there.
Shut you, I will hurt you. Let's go to Eric. Hey, Eric, who's this? Eric, right?
What up, dog?
Hola.
How y'all doing?
All right.
I heard y'all say something about a dumb cracker, so I figured I'd call. It's,
Right on cue.
Right.
I felt like y'all wanted one, so I figured I'd give you one, you know what I mean?
Actually, Eddie's just done a Bigfoot carve out at his lake house,
Yes.
and that's actually the signal we send up into the sky at nighttime to call you.
Maybe that's why I was getting that feeling last night. I thought it was the mushrooms, but I mean, who knew?
Might have been, man.
You know, you were talking about the media being on the side of, you know, making it how unpopular the wanting to get all these illegal immigrants out of here. I feel like part of the reason is they're kind of sheltered from the actual effect of them. I mean, there's not right now a credible threat to their livelihood.
Exactly.
Where immigrants are coming in and taking their particular jobs.
In fact, the
I don't
only
think
time
that's-
they get affected, Eric, is if some crime happens to them. That's the only time they have anything to say negative about what they call migrants.
I bet you I can find an AI program that might not say or choose to say some
I bet.
unflattering things.
I'm sure.
They'll feel
You
it.
know,
They need to.
it's well, yeah, they do. Everybody needs to be on the same. You want to be on the same playing field, and let's be on the same playing field. You know, I don't want you to be able to inoculate yourself from your policies. I feel like if you're going to make a excremental policy, I think you ought to be lick the spoon.
Oh, man, that happens all the time. You know it as well as I do. Congress passed a law, quit, that doesn't apply to them.
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
How do you do that? How can you do that? How is that even, how has nobody even challenged that? Where's all the conservatives, blah, 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 BS? You going to let Congress pass laws that don't affect them? Are you are you outside of your mind?
Yeah, to me, it's
We're on
just
the radio.
like, this is like human nature. I don't think you're ever going to get rid of this. Even if
Nope.
you're like the biggest egalitarian, somebody's
not.
always on top.
Human nature. You said it right there, Joe.
Well, that's fine, but it ought not be so, all right, this doesn't apply to me. You know, we're going to make something that everybody has to do. And not only does it not apply to me, but you're going to pay for my ability to have better than what you have.
Hey, Eric.
That's just,
Always
I know.
remember, these are the same people who told you need a vaccine. They knew that wasn't a vaccine. These are the same people that steal your money every week when you get paid. Do not be
that
surprised
thing?
how evil they are.
these people are just, I don't know. I think that's part of what pisses so many people off is you start for thee and not for me.
Yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah. Dude, they stand between you and your paycheck. Who gets paid first? You or the tax man?
They do. They know how
That's
much I make
exactly
before I
right.
do.
Exactly right.
Well, and also, I that's why in my essay, the crap I just read, I start off by talking about paradoxes. If you think about Apollo, the Apollo program, you want to say great men did this. I did. But a lot of those great men who had the know-how and the science to do it, weren't they, Nazis?
NASA.
I'm more the.
I've had more people since we started talking NASA the last couple of weeks. I've had more people say, "Hey, take a few letters out of NASA and you get Nazi."
That's
you
what
ever think of that?
Yeah,
It's like, no, I hadn't, but thank you for putting that in my head now.
Right. So life's
You know-
complicated.
That guy needed to have somebody tell him, you know what? You're obviously, that guy was a preacher, right? Or that guy that met NASA and told him about feeding the.
Yeah, Abernathy.
Oh yeah.
He was a preacher. All right, good. Now I don't know the Bible. I don't know the chapter, verse, or any of that stuff. But
You know, I heard that if you teach a man, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. But if you teach him to fish, you know, he'll always be able to feed himself, you know, provided the fish are bite. But there needs to be some of that. Why aren't you teaching those people how to help support themselves instead of holding their hand out? Because that's what you're teaching them. You're teaching them to hold their hand out and see what they get.
That's what they want
That's
to
like
teach.
wishing in one hand and
Pooping in
see
the
what
other.
you get, and and which one fills up faster. And it's just, we have such a backwards way of looking at this. Like, how come our finance people can't figure out a way to invest our money so that, you know, our taxes can go down?
They have no interest
All
in
right,
that.
there's got to be a loser to pay for all that, and it's us. Surprise!
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, it's almost like
Surprise.
the institution of government never likes to shrink in size, or politicians don't like to limit their own power.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and then again, life is full of these ironies. Who's the president that essentially paved the way to have something like SpaceX now being a huge success?
Oh, he's a felon. That guy's a felon.
No, it wasn't him.
It wasn't Trump?
FDR? Was it Trump?
It's Obama.
FDR.
Really?
Obama's the one
Obama.
that said we're going to go towards the private
I
company.
do. Yes, I do remember that now. That was one of the few things I thought he did.
Much to his credit.
Right. Did right.
Obama was a great president. You got to admit, you can't take that from him. And that
long as
guy
you shall.
exerted all kind of power.
I look at all these guys now, especially the more we learn with the Trump years, Obama, Bush, Clinton, like how much are they actually running?
Well, that's just it. How much were they really?
Yeah.
They're there to sign some paperwork at the end of the day.
Right.
And that's just even more
I feel
depressing.
I feel like we need to be on an episode of WWE.
I mean, people,
you might as well.
listen, I mean, people ask me, you know, what's politics like behind the scenes?
Mhm.
And I tell them it's more like Veep than the
Yeah.
West Wing.
Oh, yeah.
Like the absurdity, the lack of understanding or forethinking, anything like that, man.
Really?
A lot of it's reactionary.
It's very, like, what's our statement today on this thing? Yeah, right.
We
I mean,
got to get
you
out in
get
front
so-
of this after the rat's already occurred.
Right.
You know?
You get so worked up. I mean, there's no sense of calm in the room that somebody goes, hey, maybe not say that just yet.
Oh, well, I mean, there's always a voice of reason, but that's often the voice that's least listened
That's
to.
what I'm wondering. It's the quietest voice in the room.
That doesn't get headlines. That doesn't solve problems. You know, it's always chaos by design almost, you know.
I guess it depends. That's what Biden says anyway. It just depends.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. I got to go. This guy's bugging the crap out of me.
Thanks,
See you,
Eric.
buddy.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and they're Pest Pro Ashley and that fantastic team of hers are ready to help you with all your potential pest control problems.
That's right, Joey.
Could be you have a particular job you want them to do, say termite treatment.
Good idea.
Or just termite inspection and prevention.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be you want to get the yard treated for mosquitoes, which is a great service. It's worth every penny, folks.
Yes, it is.
You personally have experienced.
I do subscribe to it. Yeah, they come out once a month, and like we always say, it's a mosquito heaven, but I don't have a mosquito problem at all when they come by.
But I would suggest that because they're so great, they're so easy to work with, great local folks who've been growing over the past few years because of how good they are. Well, they can help you with all your pest control problems, so why not make them your everyday pest control company? Pest Pro Services. That number, 265-9990. That's 265-9990, or you can always go to pbsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, the fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and lethal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Summer is officially 9 days away, but we are well into our summertime pattern. Plenty of sunshine today. Not quite as humid as yesterday, with a high temperature near 90. Tonight's low, a comfortable 64. Tomorrow, a high temperature of 90 to 92. Closer to the middle 90s on Thursday and Friday. We'll keep the rain chances just about as low as you can get, 20% or less, and lots of sunshine. And then I've got us at 96 on Saturday with more sun. Risk of scattered storms on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Don't miss our great package deal right now on a 25 horsepower Kubota tractor with front end loader and more. All for 0% APR 84 months with approved credit.
Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Yeehaw, cowpokes. Welcome back to the program. 334-272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Did you see Tuberville yesterday talking about how he thinks Biden's going to be starting World War III?
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he was on some other John Catsimatidis or Catstitty? What is this guy's name?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's go with that one.
Yeah.
I think that one's.
Yeah, but Tuberville declared that Ukraine can't win the ongoing war with Russia and called on the Biden administration to sit down with Putin to end it.
I agree with him.
Here's a quote. Biden has almost got us into 3 wars. Ukraine can't win. We would love for them to be able to, but he has now given them permission to shoot American weapons into Russia. Oh, by the way, the first F-16 strikes are now being delivered into Russia. The first strike just happened.
Really?
Yeah, and they're keeping their F-16s off Ukrainian soil. So they're flying essentially sorties from non-Ukrainian soil. That's going to work out well. Back to Tuberville. Now, if he wants to start World War III, he is on the way to doing it. And we have to have leadership that will sit down and have a summit with Vladimir Putin and get this thing over with and try to help the people of Israel get out of this mess that they're in. And then, of course, everybody wants to say, hey, we cannot let China take over Taiwan. Hey, folks, we can't keep China from taking Taiwan. We don't have a military strong enough or able to get that done. We are living in the past and not in the present, so we have downgraded our country. This country is holding on by a thread in a lot of areas.
Hold on. Revisit the last one. We don't have a military strong enough to prevent China from taking Taiwan.
Right. That's what Tuberville said to this cat's titty guy.
I have a feeling that if we parked a bunch of folks over in Taiwan, that we could probably
change things dramatically.
Yeah.
Well, there's a headline, and this is coming, I believe, from the U.S. military.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. military has a plan to turn the Taiwan Strait into an unmanned hellscape if China invades, Top Admiral says. If China invades Taiwan, it may face a large lethal drone force meant to make its military miserable. At least that's the plan, according to the top U.S. Admiral in the Pacific, who said the hellscape strategy is designed to distract China and buy the U.S. time to respond. I want to turn the Taiwan Strait into an unmanned hellscape using a number of classified capabilities, said Admiral Samuel Paparo.
Oh, while that's going on over there, we got the Russian military doing exercises in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and submarines in Cuba now and all sorts of stuff.
So what are we doing here? And then we got an old fart for a president give us a gun safety lecture after his son's conviction.
It's not just going to be like 1968 in Chicago. It's going to be like 1958 all over the country, it seems like.
Yeah.
Is he really talking about?
He is trying to lecture you on gun safety. Obviously, your lecture didn't do any good on your crackhead son, so I really don't think I should have to hear it either.
Just stupid old man.
I mean, this is damage control 101 right here, right?
But is it making it better? Is it really damage
It's time
control?
to increase funding for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Yeah. They would have caught my son a lot sooner had they had the money.
Solve crimes faster. Look. Unfortunately, the congressional Republicans oppose all these things. These great things that would solve the problem. No, they wouldn't, Joe. No, they wouldn't.
You've been wrong about every decision you've ever made. Every decision he's ever made, he's been wrong about.
I'm sorry. At this point, most of our problems are not a matter of funding. It's a matter of lack of will.
And enforcement.
That's what I mean.
We have all these rules, but hey, Joey, we're going to let Joey slide on it. But Byron, we're going to nail your butt to the wall.
Look, going back to when I think it was Eric, talking about what's going on in D.C. and everything. If they wanted to solve the problems, they would.
Just like that.
But that, I mean, what are they going to campaign on the next time? Or, what are they going to blame on the other side?
Right.
I mean, these things are complex. But as we pointed out, we put a man on the moon. It's not like we can't achieve, some of these other things.
All these problems have been caused by humans, so therefore humans can undo these problems. They can fix these problems.
And we're not talking about ending world hunger here.
No.
We're talking about ending an unnecessary and unwinnable war.
Yeah.
This is something where you get, the Security Council or your advisors sitting around a table, listen to their advice, and, go a different direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the headline I was mentioning before. A Ukrainian warplane has for the first time fired a weapon that struck a target inside Russia. The source, a Ukrainian military source, said a Russian command node was hit on Sunday in the area of Belgorod in western Russia. Belgorod is close to the border with northeastern Ukraine. It was not immediately clear what type of munition was used in the attack, including whether or not it had been a Western weapon. The United States and France recently said the Ukrainian armed forces were permitted to use their arms to strike military targets inside Russia, from where Russian forces are launching attacks against Ukraine. Under new guidance approved by Biden, American munitions can be used on Russian soil to help defend the city of Kharkiv in northeastern Ukraine. Lord Cameron, the UK Foreign Secretary, has been less specific, merely saying it was up to Ukraine to decide how they use British weapons, such as Storm Shadow cruise missiles that can be fired by Ukrainian jets. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, the military source told Sky News, a Ukrainian Air Force mission has struck a Russian command node in Belgorod. Whilst damage assessment is still occurring, it is confirmed as a direct hit. This is the first UAF air-delivered munition delivered against a target within Russia. They're also targeting Russians' ships there in the Black Sea. So we'll see where this goes. American and Western weapons have, that's something I don't question about the government in terms of their ability to blow stuff up and kill people. They're quite good at it.
Pretty efficient at that.
But you got to wonder, where is all this going? And that admiral talking about Taiwan, the future seems to be unmanned. It's like drones causing problems. So we'll see. I still maintain, I don't think that's China's move necessarily to do a full-on invasion.
No, I mean, especially when they say that they blow it up.
Right.
The chip manufacturer itself.
Well, and especially also when the parliament there, the Congress of the legislature there in Taiwan is actually run by a party more friendly to rejoining mainland China. So they'll probably bide their time, wait.
That's what I'm thinking.
Try to get it done politically without a big
Although that being
fight.
said, they are running out of time with an idiot as our president. And I worry that other countries are looking, going, hey, if we're ever going to do anything, that window is quickly closing.
Man, wouldn't that be amazing, though, if China just solved that problem themselves with Taiwan?
So if they take out that chip manufacturer, does anybody really care about Taiwan anymore?
No.
I mean,
I mean,
Right.
there's some who know people and stuff, but yeah, in terms of geopolitics,
So we're
no.
talking about a manufacturing plant is what this world's fighting over right this
I
second.
mean, especially if there's, a movement to rejoin mainland.
Right. Yeah, and you're right, Eddie. Over a manufacturing.
It's a manufacturing plant. At the end of the day, it's a manufacturing plant. That for some reason, and we all hear the crazy stories, and I don't know, but it's impossible to start one today.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen when that one ain't there no more?
Right.
Got to start one sometime.
Well, we got that one going in Ohio. We'll see how long it
There
takes.
you go. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, well, how come we ain't got no money here? Because Whitey's in Russia and China. 272-9228. This entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, well, buy a home. They can help you through that whole home buying process.
I sure can.
From pre-approval, which they're the gold standard pre-approval
They are.
there at Alabama Home Mortgage, all the way to closing day. So there are other steps like appraisals, right?
Yep,
Inspections.
inspections, and then we have repairs,
Hmm.
all kinds of stuff. Then you have tax issues occasionally, you have HOA, all these kind of things that buyers, honestly, most of them are not made aware of until you're in the middle of that process. So when you have someone like Madeline holding your hand, showing you, okay, this is the next step, this is the next step, it's a big relief, especially for first-time home buyers.
And of course, they can also help you with a great refinance deal. Say you're under a hill of credit card debt, or it could be other types of debt you're looking to consolidate, or it might be you just want to rearrange your finances and use that money, that equity you've built up in your home. They can help you there, get you the best possible deal. So call up Alabama Home Mortgage today. That number 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you could always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the river region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the river region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Sunday, July 21st, 6:30 p.m. at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center, it's Wayne Newton live. Mr. Las Vegas himself, Wayne Newton, takes the Impact stage for one night only, Sunday night, July 21st. Wayne Newton, up close and personal at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center, July 21st at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Impact box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. And, given we were talking about innovation and really going for the gusto this hour.
Yeah.
Fascinating thing came out of all places, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Donald Trump exceeds all fundraising expectations in San Francisco.
Our San Francisco here
in the
California?
United States.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is nuts. So this is, who's it? David Sachs talking to Jesse Waters last night. Let's listen in.
Will be soundly defeated in November. Investor and entrepreneur David Sachs joins me now. All right, David, you have a few billionaire buddies. You're out there in Silicon Valley. Is it just you and a couple guys, or how big is this anti-Biden movement at the upper echelons?
I think it's getting surprisingly big, Jesse. You know, when we agreed to do the fundraiser for President Trump, the goal was just to raise $5 million. And we weren't even sure we could do that because, as you well know, Silicon Valley is pretty much a liberal bastion. But we ended up raising $12 million. We had over 100 people there, and it really was a total love fest. And then out in the streets, the San Francisco newspaper has been trying all week to gin up protesters. And nothing really materialized at all. But hundreds of people came out to demonstrate in favor of President Trump, and they were cheering all along his motorcade, even in San Francisco. So if that's the enthusiasm gap in a liberal place like San Francisco, what does that tell you about the rest of the country?
It tells you a lot, and we've seen it all across the country, in the bodegas, in Compton, pretty much everywhere. It just shocks you. You said there was a lot of love for Trump in the room. That's obviously, people definitely there to donate. Is it the anti-Biden feeling, or is it the pro-Trump feeling? How would you define it?
Well, we had a lot of people in that room who had never donated to Republicans before or to Trump. They were new donors, or they had always been Democrat donors, and yet they came out. And I think I attribute that to the fact that Trump is making inroads in Silicon Valley, and then also Biden is really alienating people. He's really pursued a very hostile program towards innovation. He's been very hostile towards crypto. He's wanted to overregulate AI.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically shut down all M&A. And so I think there's a lot of people in technology who are asking, what good is this for us? How does it help us to have another 4 years of President Biden? And I think that Trump has basically declared that he's the crypto president. He's in favor of innovation. He's willing to listen. I think he listened extremely well to all the people in that room. And fundamentally, he wants America to do well. And I think that people in tech who get to meet the president, get to know him, they see that he really cares. And I think they can be won over by him. And I think they are being won over by him.
So what do we think of this? I think, of course, David Sachs is on the All In podcast, and they have all sorts of different perspectives politically. But you're noticing, say, in the podcast world, that even the folks that are usually your more left-leaning are starting to go more towards Trump. I mean, Joe Rogan in particular just went on a rant that went quite viral. Like, you're just seeing a lot of folks that they're not, say, Christian conservatives from Alabama. Like, you're not talking about your traditional red state voter. You're talking about a new thing going on here.
Well, I think he nailed it when he was talking about the enthusiasm gap and how people, they couldn't churn out people in San Francisco to protest against Trump, but his supporters lined up. So, his guys are there, the Dems are staying home, and that's what they're afraid of.
And this keeps happening, like in Atlanta. People lining the streets when the mugshot was made. There were people lining the streets. Oh, Trump's here. Mm-hmm. The Bronx, huge rally. Like, places where are not strongholds for Trump or Republicans.
That Jersey rally they had.
Yeah.
But the thing in California, especially this particular group of individuals, all very wealthy, my assumption would be they're tired of Biden kind of holding back what they can do with their money.
Well, y'all remember my stupid old man rant about the Bitcoin stuff.
Yeah.
And that's coming directly from Biden's administration and the administrative state that's really running the show. Mm-hmm. And that has to stop now.
Yes.
They're holding us back on a lot of these things.
Like crazy.
And it's that, we don't know. And they always couch it in terms of, we're looking out for the world and the community. No, you're looking out for the people who pay you.
Right.
Your interests.
Exactly right.
And it's like, this is why I am very much in the camp. I don't care who it is. We need a wrecking ball. Maybe we actually do cut into some muscle. We don't just cut the fat.
Hey, Joey, I don't know if you saw this, but saw a headline earlier. Record number of congressmen now lobbyists. Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. It's just hard to. I mean, we know that, but why can't we do something about that? We all know that that's as wrong can be.
Well, I mean, the old line of thinking was love my congressman, hate
everybody
Congress.
else's, yeah.
But I think we're all getting away from that. I mean, going back to what I was telling you earlier about the article, relating to Colorado Springs and how they elected an independent mayor. And the takeaway from that was that both sides, Democrat and Republican, was identifying less with party, more with just being liberal or conservative, but finding the candidate that best represents them.
Right.
And I think that's where we're getting to.
Well, it's that clip I always play that, after damning politicians for years, I'm suspecting I expect too much of them. I think there are a lot of people who are looking at Republicans and Democrats, especially traditionally in the traditional media centers, and they're going, we don't expect anything good from them. And so we're willing to go with something new as opposed to being bought in on the same tired tropes and memes and systems that we've known for the last few decades.
Well, we're in the minority.
True.
I mean, most people still
Are dumb,
straight identify, straight.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Straight ticket, no matter what.
Well, it's not really dumb. It's more like no, it's like they have like mouse traps that are triggered when they hear certain words. I've talked to you.
Are you mocking people that get triggered, Joey?
Very binary. It's just black or white.
Right. Well, but this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
'Tis the world we live in. So we'll see. But I just thought it was fascinating. A blowout fundraiser in San Francisco with Silicon Valley top people. It's pretty crazy.
But it's surprising. He said that they were hoping they would get $5 million. Between those billionaires, are you kidding me? Let that fall out of your pocket on the way out the door.
I don't want to give too much too soon.
That I didn't think about that. That's right.
I mean, there are caps though too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but come on, these are big.
Well, this probably goes into the pocket of a PAC.
Well, they would, if it's for the campaign, it's for the campaign. They wouldn't have reported it as for the campaign if it was for PAC.
That's something we just need to sit down and look at the laws on this stuff, because I hear about all these multi-million-dollar dinners. I thought the cap for an individual was a few grand
for the candidate.
For the candidate,
yeah.
So all these millions they raise, say, at a dinner in San Francisco, that doesn't go directly to the campaign.
A certain number of it, would go to the campaign, and
the other would go to the PACs.
Right.
How do they differentiate what goes to the campaign? If we have the limits, that
the
we're
limit.
talking about.
The limit.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, the limit.
So no matter what, we got this much, so we could say 1,000 people came, and that's what we're paid.
Of all folks, Vivek Ramaswamy really is on a lot of different podcasts has laid out what he didn't know as he got into this. Like how the PACs, the PAC's not supposed to coordinate with the campaign. Oh, they do all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That's often where people are running the campaign out of.
Right.
Like, it's just...
You got to be careful.
Right. You do have to be careful. There are certain bright lines, but it's also kind of like, well, we're still all working together. Like when you are literally... You're a PAC and you're funding the fundraiser to get, you're funding the meet and greet with the candidate.
Right,
and the candidate's just showing up. Like, come on. Well, rich people will find a way to make their money work. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Hunter Biden has been convicted of all 3 felony counts related to the purchase of a revolver in 2018. The judge did not set a sentencing date. Police have thwarted attempts by pro-Palestinian demonstrators to set up a new encampment at the University of California, Los Angeles. Previous camps at UCLA were cleared after an attack by counter-protesters this spring. UCLA police say approximately 25 people were arrested late Monday. The AAA Motor Club says the national average for gasoline prices stands at around $3.44 a gallon, down about 8 cents from a week earlier, more than 19 cents cheaper than just 1 month ago. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed, the Dow losing 142 points, but the NASDAQ ahead 108. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty-free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Summer is officially 9 days away, but we are well into our summertime pattern. Plenty of sunshine today. Not quite as humid as yesterday, with a high temperature near 90. Tonight's low, a comfortable 64. Tomorrow, a high temperature of 90 to 92. Closer to the middle 90s on Thursday and Friday. We'll keep the rain chances just about as low as you can get, 20% or less, and lots of sunshine. And then I've got us at 96 on Saturday with more sun. Risk of scattered storms on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
Just weeks after a unionization vote failed here in Alabama, we're now finding out that an investigation is being conducted into the president of the United Auto Workers Union, Shawn Fain. There's a court-appointed monitor whose name is Neil Barfoski, who is looking into accusations against Fain of abusing his position as UAW president and engaging in retaliation of one of the union's vice presidents. Court filings were submitted on Monday and reveal this investigation is underway. Barfoski is also accusing Fain as well as other UAW leaders of obstructing his investigation and not providing the requested information. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The bodies of an adult and young child were found inside a submerged car in Lake Eufaula. The vehicle was found submerged in 12 feet of water. It was retrieved on Tuesday. Police are now investigating. 2 females and a 4-year-old were reported missing on June 1st. The other reported missing female was not inside that vehicle. A search of the area is currently underway. The city leadership of Fairhope is stocking up on Narcan, which is a drug that reverses opioid overdoses. The city council approved the expenditure of over $4,000 to purchase this Narcan. City council also approved further CPR and Narcan training for the general public to counter the rise in opioid overdoses that has occurred in Baldwin County. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy? I got hairy legs.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour of the program here. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. If you're just tuning in online on Twitter or X or on YouTube, this is just a humble little talk radio show out of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm Joey. Eddie is the one in the shirt that looks like a blueprint for a boat Navy yard
that I'm going to build one day.
One day?
One day. Running out of time, but one day.
What kind of vessels are on there?
Sailboats, I believe.
A schooner.
Yes.
Huh. And then Byron Sheehy also in the studio. Now, I'm doing a risky thing here because I just got the headline and I didn't read it. Actually, I do that with a lot of things. But I just got the headline. Sometimes it's just good to react on the fly. So this could suck or it could be interesting. But the headline is Gen Zers aren't having children because of this scary reason.
Okay.
See how it caught my attention?
Yeah, I see why.
Right.
Yeah.
These headline writers of the New York Post, they know what they're doing. They really do know what they're doing. But new research has confirmed that increasingly fewer millennials and Gen Zers are having children, and there's a quote-unquote scary reason why. More than half of 18 to 34-year-olds are choosing not to have children due to financial challenges, according to a newly released data from the Australian research company Redbridge. Of the young people choosing not to have children, 35% are university educated and 33% are earning more than $2,000 a week. Just under half don't own a home. Wait, is that it?
Dude, money ain't never held nobody back from having babies. Come on. Y'all were here during the
Actually,
70s.
it's kind of the folks who have the money who hold back.
Yeah.
Seriously.
In this environment, there's not
they're
a whole lot of them.
well educated and know that they probably can't afford to have another mouth to feed. Yeah.
There's a few of them, but not a whole lot. Breeding usually takes priority.
Yeah, so for previous generations, it took until their 30s to obtain financial security, and for Gen Z and millennials, it'll take well into their 40s, says the guy, Kos Samaras, director of this research company. Ultimately, Samaras said young people aren't being dramatic by not starting families because financially it could cripple them. When did it become so expensive to raise a kid?
Dude, I remember when Justin was born, the doctor told us, and he's kind of a jerk, but anyway, he was being real, and he said, just so you know, it will cost you well over $500,000 to raise this baby from the time he's born to the time he's 18. I was like, okay, well, only one, I ain't got that kind of money, but I needed my parents, and they raised 6 of us, so I think we'll be all right.
I love the advice I got from an old man one time. I said, how do you know when it's the right time to start a family? He said, it's the easiest thing in the world. He said, just think of the day you don't ever want to have any money for the rest of your life, and that's the day to start a family. But to your point, yes, until as old as time, people have been making it work for millennia now. So,
and honestly, for me, I was a young teenage dad, but that's what I needed to get my butt in gear, and I never stopped from that day on. I knew everything I ever was going to do, I was going to have to work hard for it. And so it was a motivator.
But the story goes on here, giving kind of a concrete example of what we're talking about here. Influencer Laura Henshaw, 30, is one of those women who has put off having children. In fact, she's not even sure if she wants them at all. She recently launched a podcast. Yeah, like we need another one of those.
mm-hmm.
She recently launched a podcast aptly titled, Do I Want Kids? Wait, how much did she have to pay to get this written up in the New York Post?
Dude, you ain't kidding, Joey.
I'm going to start a podcast. Do I want to have kids with her?
Ooh, very popular podcast.
Very short.
And she's on the podcast, Do I Want Kids? She's been discussing the issue endlessly, giving real insight into why so many young women aren't sold on becoming moms. Henshaw told news.com.au, really, that's how it is in Australia?
Oh, yeah.
Australia?
Australia?
Mm-hmm.
You got that accent?
That she spoke with more than 1,000 people, and one of the main reasons they are hesitant to enter parenthood is money. One of the main reasons is cost. So many people are worried about renting and having children and want to buy before they do. The cost of living crisis has also meant that young people are relying on two incomes to pay the mortgage or rent because of the cost of living. Most couples rely on both incomes to support the household. That is true. I mean,
there's no
costs
doubt.
are going up across the board, especially on the essentials.
Well, and also, let's just talk schools. Having a kid nowadays, if you have the opportunity, do you send your kid to public school, especially here in Montgomery? No. You bite the bullet, get a second job, send them to private school. I mean, that's just not here in Montgomery. That's so many places.
For Henshaw, what makes her so nervous about having children is less the money because she's in a privileged financial position, but that burning question of whether she can juggle having a career while also being a mom.
Which sounds like maybe she didn't want to make the sacrifices to be a parent, so therefore she should probably not have kids.
No, she goes on. She says, my biggest fear is, can you do both? Can you have a career and have children?
Yes.
Is it a real fear to become no longer relevant?
Oh, good.
What does that mean?
You're
not relevant now.
Right. What'd you say her job was?
I don't know. She's just doing a
Influencer?
podcast.
Yeah. Come on. Attention seeker, and it don't pay well.
Henshaw said she has concluded that she can do both, but she's worried that once she becomes a mom, other people will start to limit her career.
This poor kid.
Oh, good Lord.
She
You
ain't
ain't
even
kidding.
had
She don't
kids
need to
yet.
have no kids. Good Lord.
Well, like, make the choice. Okay, I hate to bring up family stuff. My Aunt Karen was kicking ass in the corporate world. Like, she was like one of the, I mean, how many vice presidents they have, but Nabisco, PepsiCo, like doing really well. And she had 2 daughters as she's doing that. And she realized that because her daughters were getting like 7, 8, 9, that I'm missing all of my kids' lives. Like, they had the money to, because my Uncle Dave's also doing quite well for himself. They had the money to have a full-time nanny. Then my aunt realized, I don't want a nanny raising my kids. And what the hell am I doing here at Nabisco or PepsiCo all the hours of my day when I have these 2 little girls at home? So she decided, I quit.
She made the sacrifice.
Oh, man. The cancel culture would not like her.
No.
You know.
I think she made the amazing decision.
A lot of people are making that decision, and it's in the best interest of, their family as they determine.
Oh, yeah. Just think about how many people are checking out, getting out of the corporate world, just going off grid. Taking their family. They don't like the society they're living in, so they're taking them off grid. Not all of them are crazy.
Now, let's go from this woman who probably is gifted, has the gift of gab, good communicator, Laura Henshaw, to late last year, Australian model Ellie Gonsalves, whatever that means. Salves, like a salve?
Right.
She's 33. She went viral for sharing a list of 117 reasons she didn't want to have children. She stressed that the list was very personal, but after years of being asked why she didn't want to be a mom, she decided that a comprehensive list might stop the constant questions. Well, not from your own mother. The list included lighthearted reasons like kids can be rude, and more serious explanations like they are your responsibility until you die. Well,
they can.
Yeah, but
until they're 18.
Yeah, like, come on, like, we were just talking about this. Like, your son's still your responsibility, but he's also a man, and he's responsible for his own stuff.
True.
Like, he knows you, if in a jam, you probably got his back.
True, but here's the thing.
The point of success, I think, of being a parent is like,
well, here's the thing as a parent. My mother used to give me crap about it. It's 12 o'clock at night. You don't know where your kid is. It don't matter if he's 40 years old or if he's 12. He's your kid. It's part of your heart. That's part of your soul.
Yeah, but I don't want to know where my 40-year-old son is in
there,
the middle of the night.
You're not there yet. Ask your dad.
I don't think that's my father.
You'd be surprised.
Sometimes we'll go months without talking, and it's not bad blood. It's
No,
just
it's
like
not
he's
bad.
doing his thing, I'm doing my thing.
It's probably just more making sure you're not in jail, the morgue.
Yeah.
You know, so long as you're not in either of those places, you're all right.
Yeah, and he's always happy when I call, and I'm always happy to see him call. But it's not. We're like, what are you
No,
doing?
I'd
It's like
still-
falling
I don't-
asleep on the couch watching Sean Hannity again, Dad.
No, I don't feel responsible. Like if Justin got a power bill or something like that, I don't consider that my responsibility.
Right.
However, if something were to ever happen, I'm the father. I'm the first one to jump up.
Sure.
So but I take that just like he's 17 years old.
But that's good parenting.
And my mother's the same way today. She gives me a lot of crap because she doesn't get to see me as much. I'm like, Mom, you're my mom. You've seen me my whole life. You're still my son.
I just think we're back to our point about how good we do have it.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the stuff that's traditional, people just did out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you have these freedoms not to choose certain traditions, people are making those choices, but you got to wonder, because I'm that model. She's 33, she's hot, like all this stuff. What happens when you're 43, 53? And not that you can't still find good friends in
This
life.
is what happens, though. And it happens more often than not. They'll turn around, look at their life, and they go, I didn't have any children. I'm growing old and alone. I have no one to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
And they realize, and not to sound funny, but they usually end up saying, I led a selfish life. But now, that being said,
too close to home.
That
Yeah,
being
I'm the
said,
same
there
way.
are some
Like-
people that don't need to have kids. So
See, I'm not against having children. Like, I think I would like it. It's just like I haven't met the right broad or lovely woman.
there
Like,
we go.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
met a
the
wife.
right step.
I haven't met a wife yet.
If you keep referring to them as brides, I'm just going to guess that doesn't solve itself.
Yeah, that's probably right. 272-9228. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey,
Hey, James.
tell me something, brother. Where are you looking? You said you hadn't found the right broad yet. You know, maybe, Joey, it could be your attitude.
You think?
Maybe. I mean, I hope for, the best for you, brother. Really. Let me say this. I have heard this most of my 61 years.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing a child into this world, has there ever been a good time to bring a child onto this fallen earth?
Well said.
Into this fallen world? Think about Moses. Why was Moses in the bulrushes? Because the Egyptians were slaughtering the Hebrew babies. Jesus, when Herod, the wise men, went the other way, didn't come back and tell Herod where Christ was, what happened? Rachel was weeping for her slaughtered children.
Yep.
2-year-olds and under. And this was 2,000 plus years ago. All right? So for those people that try to sell the idea that it's just not a good time to have babies, read the Bible and you will see what I'm talking about. You don't have to take my feeble word for it. It's in the Word. Also, Joey, if you go back to Genesis, God ordained marriage. Now, is everybody supposed to be married and have children? Nah, but all children are a blessing.
Yep.
All children are a blessing, Joey. Even me and you and Eddie. Are you with me, Joey?
I was until that last word you used.
You got a stick, Eddie?
Nah, there's a paddle over there behind him, but I don't want to make his day.
Okay, now, Joey, here's what I'm going to tell you, brother. I was leaving here on my way to Prattville, Alabama, and you were busting up with this topic, and I'm like, I got to go back. Okay? So I turned around, I came back home just to get on this landline to talk to you so I could share.
Well,
Because these people, while they have a good point, the so-called influencers, maybe what we should watch is who we are allowing to influence us. Because the Rockefellers had this nice little population control idea way back in the 50s, which most likely, bad secular ideas have bad consequences. And that could explain why the young man that you're having this conversation with is without a wife and childless, as far as I know. Let me, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their reasons. I think in my case, it's a lot of self-hatred over the years.
Personal choice. I mean, if you really...
No, it hasn't even really been a conscious choice. It's
if you just to me, if you really wanted, if that's what you were truly looking for in life, just like your job here, that would be your priority.
Oh,
but
Joey,
it's
another
not.
topic.
It's not.
Can we pivot?
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You're working on Joey. I celebrate that all the time.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, no, and it wasn't until like recently that I didn't, for the longest time, I was like, why would I pull somebody else into this hell that I'm currently in?
That's called marriage, buddy.
You don't think she could help you work on Joey?
Yeah, but I don't think that's the right reason to pick somebody.
Agree.
Oh, no, because, if you got problems, you're still going to have problems. But none of us are ever going to be perfect, are we?
No. Not perfect. It's not perfection, just not self-hating.
Okay, well, maybe I need to be a life coach, Joey. You think you could be my first pupil if I had a
Well,
credential?
you were a public school teacher for decades.
This is true.
23 years, brother. But a life coach, I mean, that, and especially if it's like, I mean, Eddie could tell me, Eddie, I would have my hands full with Joey, right?
Your hardest part would be getting in touch with him.
Joey,
Joey,
I got him right here on the phone.
That's because he's getting paid.
Well, and I would listen politely and not do anything you said.
That's the Joey I love right there.
Should we have a 15-minute episode like every Wednesday from 2 to 2:15?
You can try, but it's probably going to be a one-man show, I got to be honest.
Only one.
I know this guy. I know this guy very well.
I'm going to be doing all the talking and Joey's just be listening?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've taken up too much of you guys' time already. And as they say in Old England, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
James, true character in this world. And wise.
How often do you get, pressure from the family or friends?
Yeah, I think all your pressure.
Time.
Do you? Because I'm starting to feel bad. I feel like I'm the one that gives you the most pressure. When
no,
honestly, I'm just
you're
giving
more,
you a hard time.
Yeah, ribbing me.
Yeah.
No, I don't get a lot of pressure.
I got it this weekend.
You did?
Yeah. Like, you just need to find someone, settle down. Like, if I was going to just find someone and settle down, I would have done that a while back,
Well, and I think also
Settled.
the beautiful thing, we're
Exactly.
citing Australia in the thing we're just reading, and New York City, the New York Post, are like, I think the culture in the South is still oriented to when are you going to get married and have kids?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think that's a good thing. But no, I really have. People have been, in the family, been asking me in a more serious way, not really bugging me. It's more polite, like they're concerned about me. And I've been trying to make clear, like, these last few months, it's worked. Like, I'm trying to reset life, so to speak, and put it on a trajectory to where, these things will come in time.
I do think he's right on you make time for things that matter to you. You should take some Joey time and go explore. So you
Go explore.
Let's go. Japan. I'm ready when you are.
Man, I'll go to Japan with you, big
Japan.
boy. You want to go?
We've been dying to go.
Sure.
All right.
I mean, just for the
100%.
cultural experience. Just,
I've been wanting to go to Far East for a long time.
I just think it would be an incredible cultural experience.
I love how it's like, Joey, when you get married, have kids, and Eddie's like, let's go to Japan.
Well,
Get sushi.
there is a reason for that, but
I was going to guess Singapore, but
Singapore wouldn't be bad.
that would be really nice. Very clean.
272-9228. If you want to hop in on this life coaching I've been getting, it's part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Maybe that's your issue, fella. Maybe you're lacking testosterone. Actually can be a real problem. If it's a natural problem for men as they get older, as they mature, especially in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you'll start to see a decrease in testosterone. And a lot of men don't want to lose that edge. They want to keep on going like they're used to. Montgomery Men's Health can help them there. But they're even younger men, even in their 20s, now experiencing low testosterone. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, and drive, including a decrease in your sex drive, you just always feel tired, like you're walking through life in a fog. We've also seen things like unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, and you haven't changed your diet habits, you haven't really changed your workout habits. This could all be signs, these things could all be signs of low testosterone. So stop by Montgomery Men's Health. The providers there will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And at Montgomery Men's Health, they have low T treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, you usually even notice an increased libido.
Nothing wrong with that, Bubba.
You can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, equal housing lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Wake it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Hi, everybody. Pretty quiet forecast for the next few days. Not too bad as far as the temperature, but getting a little hotter as the week goes on. Partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 64. That's fairly comfortable. Tomorrow's high 90 to 92, closer to the middle 90s on Thursday and Friday. We'll keep the rain chances, 20% or less each day. Lots of sunshine. Up to about 96 Saturday with more sun and the risk of scattered storms returning on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Have you heard the news? Capital Tractor will soon be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. With lots of Kubota inventory, we're going to sell it instead of move it. Our big moving sale is a great time to get a great deal on a Kubota at Capital Tractor in Montgomery.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's switch things up a little bit. Go to some animal stories, if you will.
Okay.
Now, one that was making the rounds, you said Barstool was playing this like crazy last night.
Oh, yeah, the bull there that busted out.
The bull, yes.
Man, Joey.
Like, this is absolutely bonkers. A lot of cursing in the video, so I'm going to mute it, but we can still watch. This was at a rodeo, I think, in Oregon?
Oregon.
Yeah, so here it is up on the stream. Okay, this bull's running normal bull in a rodeo pen.
Looks like the guy got knocked off, so they're just trying to corral him back into the pen.
Right, and there, he just hopped the fence.
Hopped it like it wasn't even there.
Okay, and now the bull's in sort of like the concession area?
Yeah, it looks like outside the arena.
Yeah. Spots a person. Oh!
Okay.
How does that...
Okay, here's the theory, and I don't think it's true, but she's the only one that has red on.
Oh.
Now, bulls are supposedly colorblind, but she is the only one who has red on.
There's a different angle this. How is it... Okay, folks, it like flips her up and almost catches her in between its horns and flips her again.
Like a
off
flapjack.
the top of its head.
Oh, like
She
a
would've
flapjack,
probably
man.
got like a 5.7 in the rodeo. She
Oh,
was
no
really
doubt.
riding.
Wait, did you always have scoliosis even as a child? Nope. Errant bull. Look at that. How is she alive?
All right, but do you see the one guy who never sets down his beer as he's chasing the bull? Hey, y'all, watch out.
You said this is Oregon?
Oregon. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, but does it seem like Oregon is known very much for their rodeos and
For the cowboy action?
bull managing?
Though, that Greater Idaho project, where all these
yeah.
Oregon counties want to join Idaho, people forget, like California, a
Incredibly
lot,
rural.
out west, there is a very rural
Yeah.
community out there.
Well, this community may have just excluded themselves from any such proposal.
Yeah.
Well,
That's nuts, right
After
there.
watching that last night, I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube, and there's a bull rider, a younger guy, and I'll never think of his name, but the bull that put him out of business, that broke his neck, he has that bull now. He owns that bull. And he goes out in the field and pets that thing like a dog. It is amazing. It is. I'll send the story to you. And as he's petting that bull, he tells you the whole story. And that's like, how can you have this bull that literally almost killed you? He said it wasn't his fault. He was just doing his job.
Was it tough? Was it?
It wasn't tough. It was right around that same time. And I'll look it up. But
There's some people who genuinely have connections with animals.
He really does. And they were worried about how he would be after the rodeo because he was a hotshot young superstar for a while. But now he actually teaches bull riding. So that's how he's been able to
I
maintain it.
am no interest.
You
in
ain't
doing
kidding,
that.
Bubba.
Because I think it was Johnny Knoxville of Jackass.
Yeah.
He was asked, what's the crazy stuff you did?
That was
One
it.
was the rocket. Remember the rocket thing where the rocket, it was a big cartoon red rocket.
Yeah.
Inside it was a real one, and it burst
Burn him
out of the side of the thing. He said it would have killed him if it had come out that way. But the most dangerous thing they ever did and all that stuff was the bull riding.
I think it was the cowboy poker. There was one that finally got him when they sat around the table and the bull comes and then
Oh yeah.
you don't move. That's the whole thing.
It was
And he
Cowboy
moved when
duck goose or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
he moved when the bull got him. And that's what got him.
You better move.
Yeah, I'm like you. I have no desire to sit on one's back and say, let's see if I can do.
As they're sitting there messing with them, like getting them all riled up. No, thank you.
No,
that's just crazy. I'm
The
wanting.
things that alcohol will, make you do.
Well,
man.
yeah. Now that I did get on the mechanical bull after having a few drinks, and Susanna's got it on video, and it literally lasted like 1.2 seconds, and you hear this fat guy go as he goes flying across the ring.
Wait, they just turned. Did they mess with you? Turn it up quick, or
No, I was drunk and could barely stand, much less ride a bull.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Got to work on your leg strength.
yeah, I had good balance, but not at that night.
He does have good balance, folks. It's
Especially
actually
when he's been drinking.
pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's an embarrassing video, but
And then we have another animal story. A grizzly in Yellowstone National Park might have set a regional record with a litter of 5 cubs. And some of the cubs might even be adopted. But they got pictures of it. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little bears following the big grizzly.
oh, that's cute.
Some bear experts say that they've never heard of a grizzly litter of that size in this area. Huh.
Just don't get between mama and the cubs.
Do not mess with those things. Like, bears are another one where we've made them cute and got cartoons have.
Grizzly bear is one thing, and there's a couple things, but there's one thing in the world that will, if you try to hurt it, it will hunt you down and kill you. If you wound a bear, he comes to you. He comes to the fight. Yeah.
What was it? The Edge? That old movie?
Good movie,
Yeah.
and not that far off base.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Jeff. J.B. Mooney is the bull rider's name.
That's him. Yep.
J.B.
That's him.
Mooney.
$1 million bull rider. He's 37 years old and one like to kill him. He
Yep.
bought it.
And man, watching the video, I mean, he got messed up twice, but this is the one that actually broke his neck. And amazing enough, he's so freaking tough. After it broke his neck, he stood up.
That's insane.
He stood up and walked out of there.
Stood up, walked to the paramedics and said, "Hey, I just broke my neck."
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Amazing.
There's some people that are built of different stuff.
Mhm.
Like that's
No doubt.
That's unreal right there.
No doubt.
Appreciate the call.
Appreciate that.
It's folks like that that give me confidence in this country, though.
True.
You ain't kidding, Bubba.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of folks out there that can really do things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we underestimate, I think, our abilities to actually get things done these days.
We probably need to send JB Mooney to Congress.
Yeah,
But that's
exactly
it.
right.
It's first world problems. We've gotten, I mean, I hate admitting them as much as anybody else, but we've gotten soft. Life is easy. Frustrating.
You're
kind of
soft?
easy.
You really? Are you soft?
I'm about a 2-ply, yeah.
Well, we all know you're sweet. This guy over here. Look at him.
Joey.
272-9228. I'm at this point in the show where I'm like, yeah, let's go home, but we still got about 20 minutes left here, folks. So I'm going to one I didn't know I was going to cover.
Yeah?
But this is Kevin Spacey.
I saw some interviews with, is he on?
He did the Lex Friedman show. I didn't watch that one yet.
Watch the clip.
And I just didn't feel
Right.
like this is Piers Morgan.
He's making the rounds, dude.
And it's the rehabilitation
Mhm.
tour, but let's just, I guess the game here is, do we find this guy believable in this clip? Because apparently he breaks down crying here.
Okay.
And the actor.
Right.
Oh.
Kevin Spacey, a damn good actor.
He really- I
Say
know.
whatever you want about his personal life. The guy really is remarkable.
I agree,
at the
100%.
trade, but
All right, so let's play the game.
let's play the game.
Nope.
You don't think it's real?
No. I'm out.
Well, it's funny you asked that question because this week, where I have been living in Baltimore, is being foreclosed on. And my house is being sold at auction.
Piers Morgan asked him, "Are you in bankruptcy?"
So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage.
Really?
So the answer to that question is I'm not quite sure where I'm going to live now, but I've been in Baltimore for since we started shooting House of Cards there.
So how long is that?
I moved there in 2012.
So this has been your home for 12 years?
Well, not this particular place, but this place has been my home and Evan and Lucy's home since 2016.
Why is it being foreclosed?
Because I can't pay the bills that I owe.
Are you facing bankruptcy?
Been a couple of times when I thought I was going to file, but we've managed to sort of dodge it, at least as of today.
How much money do you have?
None.
Really?
Well, I mean, you have some sense of legal bills.
Yeah.
I still owe a lot of legal bills that
You're
I have not been able to
You're
pay.
actually in debt.
Yes.
I don't know. As it went on, it's like the guy seems like he's having these problems.
Oh, I mean, he's definitely having the problems. I just didn't buy the cry.
You don't buy the crying?
No.
Neither do you buy the crying.
No.
Yeah.
Eviction ain't something that happens overnight. I know all too well. If it was a house that he could have sold, there's a gazillion different ways he could have done this. And I think he's just trying to, like you said, the rehab tour.
Well, and the fact, too, that you were a star of a show called House of Cards. And then this
Living it?
happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently he owes millions and millions of dollars.
I know this is just a still frame at this point, but I mean, there's a look of smugness.
Always, to him.
even in that.
Always.
Like, how dare you look at me and judge me?
Yeah.
But that's been his look to me. I've seen that his whole career. I love him as an actor. I think he was a great actor, but as a person, I think he's getting what comes around.
Do you mind me asking how much you owe?
It's considerable.
Millions?
Many millions, yes. The house itself is many millions.
What are you going to do?
Get back on the horse. Get back on the horse.
There's got to be some job training out there, some program that he can take advantage
Not only
of.
that, as many bad movies that are made, you can't tell me that he couldn't go to some director and go, "You want to make some quick money? Well, let's do this together." Who was the guy that was in Footloose? Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
There we go.
But it is also one of these classic stories of like how good people can be doing financially and success wise, and how it can all just go
Oh,
poof
yeah.
overnight. And especially if you're overextended and that revenue stream of millions that you got used to over, say, 10, 20 years is just gone.
Overnight.
Nuts. And I have in my back of my head, like, I've learned the media hit jobs are just that, hit jobs. So I do wonder about his story. And maybe that's why folks are giving him the benefit of the doubt in terms of the rehabilitation tour. But, I mean, some of it's also Piers Morgan, Lex Friedman. It's an interesting interview. But we got to wonder, who are his actual friends? What's the truth of these things? Because we're sitting here, we don't know the guy.
Yeah, but
we weren't sitting even in the courtroom.
No, but why would he go on those two shows? I would think someone, if he was truly on the rehab tour and they were really to accept him, people like The View.
Oh, The View.
People like
You got to start somewhere.
Right,
though.
I get it. But Entertainment Tonight, and I guess that's where we'll end up seeing, because that's the world he lives in. That's the people he needs to be back in front of that can forgive him. I'm not saying it's a good show. You know what I think of it, but they draw a crowd.
You just lost me. Like, you put a bad taste in my mouth.
I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Man, there's probably some upstart streaming service out there. He'll have some deal, a year from now.
Not only that, you're not going to like it, but I'm going to say it. OnlyFans.
Oh, God. No.
Who wouldn't pay? Who wouldn't pay?
I would not.
wouldn't pay.
Okay. 3 out of 3 guys in here wouldn't pay, but somebody would pay.
I need to bring something up to lighten up the mood. Again, we call this Trump out of context. You didn't hear this yesterday, Byron, so I'm happy to see you react to it in real time.
So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too, a lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards. Or here, do I get electrocuted if the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking? Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, nobody's ever asked me that question.
The president's as ADHD as I am. Yeah. That's my initial reaction. And the other one, I want to know about his connection to MIT.
Yeah, right.
And he actually grapples with the fear of whether it's better to be electrocuted or eaten by a shark.
Okay, so we had this debate yesterday.
Well, he gives the answer.
I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark?
Punch it
or
in
you
the
get
nose.
electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark. So we could...
Okay.
Oh,
just Trump off prompter is my favorite thing in the world. Like, he gets rambling about stuff like this, and you get to see a glimpse of how his mind works, and I love it.
Byron, shocking or shark? Which way are you going to go?
I might be able to punch the shark in the nose, man.
So you're going to, electrocution, because that's going to get you. You can't punch electricity in the nose.
I was taught, like, I'd rather play with a snake than play with electricity.
This is true. This is true. Because that electricity will bite you every time.
Yep.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
It don't matter who it is. Listen, white tigers. As soon as a boxer buys white tigers, it don't matter if he made $200 million, he's going to go bankrupt.
How come the opposite's true with drug dealers? as soon as you see like one of these like cartel dudes, make it, they have like white tigers or some
cheetahs,
some palace with like a reserve as exotic animals.
Economics, supply and demand. They're making money every day.
That's very true.
They just had $30 million wash up on the beach, I think, something like that.
That's why that shark
You were
was
talking about
Trump.
I love Trump, but electricity's 100%. A tiger ain't. I mean, a shark's not.
Right.
So you can bump. Yeah, like you say. In fact, it came out on the national news today. I think the advice that what they're telling people is if you see a shark, fight aggressively. And I'm like, how about I just stay out the damn water?
There you go.
There you go.
Now, when you started the show, you were talking about Biden replacements. That's not what we want. I just in the scanning the Facebook little bit that I do, I see everybody. I'm talking staunch Democrats of extreme left going anybody but Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And if they throw in another Democrat, I don't care who it is. If it's a Democrat and we haven't vetted them, they don't have. Like you mentioned, the governor in North Carolina. Nobody knows who it is. He'll win. Somebody that we don't know very well that's just got the D by their name will win, and that's more dangerous. I'd rather Biden win. I mean, run. Yes. Because there ain't a chance in hell he's going to win. Anyway, go talk to Ray Bowles. Talk to you later.
Later.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, it's not about what I want or what, honestly, any of us want. It's about what's going to happen.
But what he just said is the reason why it's probably more likely than just possible now.
Right. Exactly. And when you start seeing all these reports now, this close to the convention, this close to this next debate.
Yeah, they're kind of letting the cat out of the bag. Letting everybody, so nobody will be shocked if they suddenly replace.
When did we have our conversation on this? 6 months ago?
Yeah.
It's been a while, right?
It has been a while. Oh, yeah. And people have been talking about it a
I'm
while.
still sticking by my first name.
Who'd you go with?
Whitmer.
Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah. You got a good eye for this stuff.
I was on that horse a long time ago.
I wouldn't refer to her as a horse that you're riding.
Okay. That was pony.
This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And there at Dillon Rings, they are a full-service jewelry shop, which means they have stuff that Dad's going to love.
That's right, Joey.
Of course, a great watch selection of these rings, these man rings that they're now putting out
really
there.
Like that ring.
Really cool stuff. You can check out the sterling silver rings there on the Book of Faces. Just search for Dillon Rings. But by full-service jewelry shop, we mean an amazing selection, but also things like repairs, including watch repairs, appraisals.
Right.
Maybe it's been a few years since you've appraised some of those family heirlooms. They're probably worth a lot more.
Values have changed, I can tell you that.
Or, of course, you could get a spa treatment, like get your jewelry all cleaned up, shined up, looking brand new again. They can do it all there at Dillon Rings. So call up Josh and Leslie Ryder today if you have any questions at 215-3669. That's 215-3669. But I really encourage you to stop by their showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, and be sure to tell them that, well, those fellas on the radio sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
If you're new to Medicare, the ins and outs can be complicated. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, our local advisors are here to help answer your questions, and we're here to help you find a Medicare plan that fits your needs. Visit bcbsalmedicare.com or call 1-844-627-5612. Now, Medicare, that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on contract renewal.
This is James Jones with Jones Drugs. We've got locations in Prattville, Millbrook, Greenville, and Montgomery, and soon to be Phoenix City. My dad told me once if I wanted the whole world to know anything, to tell my aunt. Well, I don't have my aunt here, but I've got the next best thing, Blue Water Broadcasting. They have helped us grow the Jones Drug family in this area for over 10 years. Thank you, Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Epicure and Jack's Tavern in the heart of the old Fantail building promises a dining experience where quality meets comfort. With daily specials, a full wine selection, and the freshest ingredients, they're here to serve you the best of local cuisine. Join them and let's make every meal memorable.
Unwind at Epicure and Jack's Tavern during their happy hour every Monday through Saturday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Enjoy special prices on drinks in a cozy setting, whether it's catching up with friends or relaxing after work. Make your happy hours happier with Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Break the chains and eat local.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final moments of the program. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Bradville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I am doing great. Just running like a madman today. How about you guys?
I'm doing all right.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And it's just too hot to be running like this. It's like 95 out there.
Good Lord. It's here.
I really want to go to shorts in here. But have you seen Chad?
No, I haven't seen
And
him.
it's not right for me to let everybody else wear shorts and tell Chad he can't.
Why can't Chad wear shorts?
He'll scare all the customers when they walk in the door.
Wait, what's going on with his legs?
Well, you'd have to come in and see him. You'll understand.
Hmm.
I mean, Terry, yeah, he could pull it off. Bart, David, maybe. I can definitely pull it off. Chad,
Really?
Well, he's actually the only salesman in here right now.
I figured he'd give you the stink.
Honestly, I'll just I'll take your word for it. I don't need to come see myself.
Well, he was giving away such good discounts last week, Ray.
I know. I had to get him back. And that's the reason the schedule's booked for the next 4 weeks. So I said, hey, call me. We'll get it in next week. It's going to be a couple of weeks before we get you in. So if you need a floor, call us at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. And look, go on vacation. Leave us the key to the house.
Good idea.
It is so much fun to know you're coming back to a new floor. And the project's done. It's behind you. Y'all had a good time. Every time somebody does this, they tell me, Ray, I was giddy to get home, and I'm never giddy to get home from a vacation.
And that's a great way to surprise a significant other, male or female. Don't tell them. Just go out of town.
Don't do that. I did that one time with the roof. And I had to replace it.
Oh!
Please let her pick the color.
Oh!
Let's not try to, yeah. That was a $4,000 mistake.
Ouch.
The whole house turned into orange. All my neighbors were laughing at me. All I knew was a big AU sticker on the roof.
Real, baby.
yeah. So you don't listen to Joey. Don't listen to them. Y'all get the wife to pick it out, please.
And that number is still 285-8117?
It is. Call us. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. I'm going to Tallahassee tomorrow and the Lake Martin after that. So if you're on that side of the world, call us and we'll come over tomorrow and give you that free measurement.
Sounds great, man.
Appreciate it, Ray.
Have a good one, Ray.
Guys.
Try to stay cool. It is getting muggy and just intense.
I know Rich
outside.
says it's like 9 days away from summer, but dude, this is summer.
Yeah.
I mean, this is summer.
It's beginning.
Yeah.
It's hot in the morning.
Yeah.
Ugh. So what did we learn today? That I guess justice is blind because Hunter Biden got found guilty?
I've seen some of the quotes from the jury. This is, it seems more pretend than the other one. It just really does.
We saw that Biden was completely gone at the Juneteenth concert.
He checked out big time.
I thought it was good music, and he just is like...
Something was kicking in at that particular moment.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
So, and we're now thinking he's definitely not going to be the guy.
If they want to win. I mean, I kind of agree with Byron. I think most of his supporters on the Democratic side would be anybody but Biden.
One thing we didn't get to is Nancy Pelosi in a candid video from January 6th is taking responsibility for not having enough security.
So I read that this morning, and I wanted to ask you. I saw that, but then I saw her kind of rebutting it, too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There's no official, even though it's on video.
No, I was in the moment and we're
Ah.
scared.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I take responsibility, but I don't.
That's what I heard.
It's obviously Trump's fault.
He wasn't even in the building.
How about this, Eddie? How about we get out of here?
All right.
Because it's been a good show. We have another good show coming up
of course.
tomorrow, and then another good show coming up after us here on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV. We call it a happy hour.
That's right. Greg Budell and Rosie.
Yeah, Greg and Rosie. They're ready to, make you happy, right?
That's right.
At least that's
the theory.
The theory. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1